Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. This is the new theme song. Until somebody can beat it, this is going to be the official theme song of Riffin with Griffin. And we have another great episode. So let me introduce my guest, my friend, Mr. Malcolm Barrett.
Riffin with Griffin in the place. Don't you talk about what the Griffin in your face. Malcolm Barrett all sitting in the chair. People screaming no, but I'm screaming hell yeah with Griffin.
I like it.
Just riffing.
Riffin with Griffin.
So we're riffing. Yeah. 90s. Hey, yeah. It's the magic hour. Yeah. Remix.
I can't even stop it.
It's impossible to stop.
Okay.
Is that funky?
Yeah.
You can't stop that. It's impossible.
That's some good P-Funk from Eli Winderman and Rob Kimmel. They got this great band. They're out of like Philly, and they sent me that theme song.
Really?
I've had a bunch of theme songs. I know you don't listen to the podcast because you ain't shit.
I try not to.
You see it, you go, oh, is Eric's podcast coming on?
I got to turn this off. My sound was on during that.
Wow. I got a true friend here with me today, everybody, Mr. Malcolm Barrett. Yeah, so I had like 20 theme songs people made. I put up a little poll on one of my episodes on YouTube, and then like, this is the one that won, but that was just the funkiest one. They made another one that was pretty funky, but that one is like truly some P-Funk stuff.
I applaud how far, because I've seen you when it was just you inside of a hotel room or something like that, making beats like Kanye at 17. Just in your whatever.
Yeah, my little Casio.
Yeah, and then, the cartoons came and the branding. Like, people just jumped on,
right?
You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it.
Well, here I am. I know. And I've been asking you to do it, but I just wanted it to be more, for someone of your stature, I wanted it to be.
Oh, I'm very popular at church. I'm huge. I'm church famous.
So Malcolm and I are part of a crew we call the worst crew ever.
Worst.
We are the worst. It's me, Malcolm, Craig Robinson, and Leonard Robinson. I know.
First of all,
he's gonna be so mad.
So pissed. We treat him, mostly you, treat him like the opposite.
Mostly me.
You know how baby be like, put some respect on my name.
Right.
Y'all make sure y'all put no respect.
You trying to throw me under the bus?
I am.
You trying to throw me under the bus like, you this. Okay, all right. Leonard, don't believe anything. He's just as bad, but he's like one of those like, what? What happened? That's you.
I went to how many improv shows of his?
You're right. Leonard is doing great at where's he at?
I went there once.
Groundlings. He's doing great at the Groundlings.
Like he said Groundlings like it's this penny ant little
No.
group
I just forgot.
together.
There's so many improv. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of improv.
But he just but it's actually sketch. He's
it's
doing
sketch. It's
which
not
is
improv.
old school. Were you ever in a sketch group when you were coming up?
So I was in this. I did a handful. What I would do is I would stick around long enough to learn how people did things.
Oh, you want to
because I didn't like being a part of anything. I didn't like being a part of groups. I like to leave. I didn't go to college full on. I kept coming back, leaving, blah blah blah. So I was part of a sketch group called Broken Lizards for like a hot minute, which was like a cool little group, but like I wasn't like really a part of it. And I did a little stand up, and then back when I got to LA. They used to do the 227 show. Robin Thede, Amber Ruffin was in it, a couple really awesome folks. And so I joined that just because I wanted to see how to do long form improv because they would do it with like commercial breaks.
Oh, wow. I know.
And it was just like amazing. So like I did that sort of stuff, but I never wanted to like stay because I came from theater. I came from doing
Yes. You are. It's funny. I was in a sketch group called the Suckling Pigs.
Nice.
It's always some dumbass name.
It's always what is it with sketch names? It
I know.
has to be stupid.
And the thing to me that always would make sketch groups fall apart is like lack of leadership.
Yes.
Like you needed one person to be in charge, but it's like all these A-type personalities, they don't want anybody to be in charge.
Yes.
Even though they want a network and directors and producers to be in charge when it's more official. But when it's like
I feel like whoever's type A winds up running it.
Yeah.
But like that person isn't necessarily funniest. They're just the one who most is okay with setting up schedules.
Right. Yeah. That people don't follow. That people don't. Yeah, I know exactly. So, but anyways, back to Leonard is in. He's doing a lot of long form sketches and so.
The way I met Leonard was not Wildin' Out, but it's less successful offshoot, Short Circuits. Is how I met him, Afion Crockett, him.
Wow, that is a little bit.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
Leonard was on Wildin' Out.
He was on Wildin' Out for a little bit. Yeah,
that's right.
He
He got credits.
yeah, he's got. We know this.
What are we talking about? Yeah. Leonard's like a very funny comic, our buddy.
Yeah, he's on Insecure this year. Got a little thing.
Yeah, he did. He was good on that. I really like that show. That's
I also didn't watch that because I don't like to support any of you equally. So I don't want y'all to think.
You know what's fucked up? Because I support all you. You on three. You were on 3 shows that I watch religiously.
Can I tell you? You are actually a really supportive friend.
Thank you.
I can't even take that away from you. This is a real
so Malcolm
thing.
was on 3 shows that I still that I really enjoyed. Like it was like religiously watched. Like I watched it night of. That's the kind of thing. It wasn't
That's
like
amazing.
So you was on Timeless.
Yes.
Okay, you were Timeless. You was Rufus on Timeless.
I am Rufus on Timeless.
Preacher.
I
loved Preacher.
Crazy show.
Turned into a vampire on Preacher, which I liked. And I also liked Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, okay. New cut.
That's a new one.
That's a new one.
I know all your credits, motherfucker. I'm like your mom up in here. My baby been on Santa Clarita Diet.
I told him he looked good today. He showed we wore a different shirt, but he looked good on that.
So you were good on all those things.
Thank you, man.
All scary characters to white people, A vampire, a zombie, and a scientist.
Smart black guy. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was really sad that Timeless didn't stay on. I don't know what the backstory is, and if you don't want to talk about it, I'm totally cool.
Tell the whole thing, man.
Let's talk about it because I loved Timeless.
Yeah.
But the only thing that was like weird about it because it was network television.
Yes, network.
So then you're all in a time machine and you going back to a time where black people were not welcome.
Yes,
and they tried to deal with it. It's like every person in the show was this close to saying nigga. You know what I mean? Like
the nigga had to be subtext.
It was in a look. Like
it was.
What is this doing here?
What is this person doing in here? It's like, good.
Did they say darky one time or something?
No,
like they would use words. It would be something like that.
Right? I feel like because we had a really good writers' room, very eclectic group, 2 black men, which is 2 more than most writers' rooms that I've seen. But they would try and I think they were pushing. They did really good jobs. And my boy Slem told me he was like, yeah, then I tried to get you lynched in this one episode. I was like, oh yeah.
And they were like,
happen. I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. I was like, I don't need to talk to the network about that. I don't think that's gonna go.
Yeah.
But that was that was the funny thing about doing the show is the very first episode is I have this big prison monologue. And fans of the show know I've talked about on Twitter is that Eric Kripke, who's one of the creators of the show, him and Sean Ryan, Kripke, who now has The Boys, he's turned that comic book into a great sort of graphic novel, and I'm on an episode or 2 of that.
Oh, sweet. Because you're just working.
I work, man. I can't not work, man.
I remember when you weren't working.
It was a horrible period. I almost killed you. I was gonna rob you, Eric.
I know. Where do you live?
Yeah. I just couldn't afford a gun. But yeah, he gave me so much leeway because they had this one sort of dramatic speech, and his words, he was like, "Sounds like we're trying to win a Gravitas Award. Can you just go do your thing?" And I was like, "Great." So what's funny is the show wound up being a family show, but to me, in my head, I never once considered it to be a family show.
Why is that?
Because in my head, I'm getting called nigger all day.
Right.
In my head, not even realizing from the outside, it's like, no, this is that. Because in my head, I'm thinking about all the ramifications in the world.
Yes.
And this and that. So to me, I was like, oh, yeah, this is for adults. And then you watch an episode and I go, oh no, this is a historical adventure drama where there's some butt kicking and some romance.
Sort of a time travel procedural.
Yes.
Yeah, like NCIS in time.
Yeah,
like
NCIS,
Time Cop.
HIS.
Yeah. That maybe would have stayed on the air.
Yeah, we need a couple more letters if we wanted to stay on.
Well, it was NBC, so it would have been like Law and Order.
Yeah, Law and Order,
like
time travel unit.
Yeah. It'd still be on right now.
100%.
No, that'd be dope. Imagine.
I love it.
So you okay, so then you saw that it was like a family show. But why? Okay, how about this? Why?
What do you want to know, Eric?
Why do you think it didn't work?
Ratings weren't high enough.
Yeah, but
that's it.
Is that no other reason than that?
No, because also so here's the thing about it. The ratings were high enough to sustain how expensive the show was.
There we go.
Because doing a show like this, it's like you're doing a pilot each episode.
True. All the costumes.
We never use the same locations. Yeah. We never use the same costumes. So and every story is kind of really epic. So it's hard to repeat that. And so the fan love was undeniable. And so they couldn't,
guilty.
It's honestly the craziest ride of my career because, we had that first, like we were waiting every single time. It was a weird wait. Like we were waiting to see if it was going to get picked up in the first place, and it did. And it was like, wow, huge. So we did the first season and it was clear that there was a lot of love. And then it was like, we got canceled.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, that's it. Great. That's cool. I'm chilling. And then 3 days later on a Saturday, we get an email saying, yo, we're uncanceled. And I was
but then, okay, wait, is that what the email said? Like, you guys are uncanceled? But then it's like another stab in the face because it wasn't even like, it still was canceled.
No, this is what happened. They uncanceled it.
Oh, right? For season 2?
Yeah. So
okay.
At the end of season 1, we got canceled. Right?
Oh, I didn't even, that's right.
Yeah, you forget. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We got canceled like 2-3 times.
That's the show that kept going.
They kept it.
Like somebody got into a time machine and went back and changed its decision.
The network was like, please stop watching the show. We'll give it one more time, but please stop. And so like that's what wound up happening. We got uncanceled like 3 days later, and it was like, okay, they were like, this is not a joke. This is really happening, and we're uncanceled. And so we did season 2, and the thing about season 2 was that it was going to be, so we have less money, but the stories, in my opinion, were a lot stronger. They were more emotional. And the idea behind season 2 is that we were going to be more family related. And so that was the idea of the stories. But then what wound up, we kind of got shot in the foot is that then they aired us at like 10 p.m. or something like that. So it was just like
gritty.
So it was like, we could have been shooting more people in the head if we, you know what I mean? That was really it.
But the hard part about that is like, with a low budget time machine show, the heart of it is supposed to be like, you want to see them going in time. It'd be like having a zombie show and you never see zombies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the second season we went back in time, but there wasn't here's the thing. If you watch the show, there's not, most of the special effects you wouldn't even notice. A lot of the effects, because the only time you ever see an effect on a show is when the time machine's going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot.
That's the one you notice.
Yeah, that's the ones you notice. The rest is like, there's 1,000 people instead of 500.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, the what it was, the blimp one,
yeah. But then we built the blimp. I mean, we built, like, when you're looking up, the blimp's fake, but then when we're moving and all this stuff, we had a couple real fires. I mean, when you see it from the outside exploding, obviously that's not a real thing. But we built a lot of practical stuff for the Hindenburg. And then the second one was just sort of like, the second season was just relationship driven. We were in the I mean, that's where we changed it from being in the huge house to being in the bunker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It went from blowing up to like just these 3 or 4 rooms. Which meant like less extras, you know what I mean? So that's how they save money and do those sorts of things. So then we got canceled again.
Yeah. Like, they were like, well, we tried.
Yeah, we got canceled again.
We're done.
And then the people got pissed again, and then we got the movie. So the movie wrapped it all up. And,
sort of.
Yeah, we kind of did whatever. I mean, it's a hard show to wrap up. It's a hard. There's so much going on, so many subplots. It's a very, I commend the writers on doing this, and all the effort that was put into it, because it's just a hard. It's like, all right, so listen, in terms of all those conspiracies and time travel consequences, let's just wrap that up real quick.
Yeah. Tied up a little bow.
Boom. History saved. We out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I when you say it like that, as I look back on it, I was like, yeah, because they had this big like evil empire. And they tried to they had to wrap that up and fix it.
Yeah,
it's how did you feel being a part of like the network television shuffle? I mean, what do you think about it now?
It's for me, that is probably one of the most successful series I've been a part of. Period. So I'm thankful for every moment, no matter how many bumps there were along the way, because it's like my longest running show before that was Better Off Ted. And that still was like probably, I don't know how many episodes that even was. Might have been like, we had shortened seasons, both seasons. So,
But I mean, okay, so I know what you're saying in terms of professionally, Timeless, like kind of like people were like, oh, that's the dude from Timeless.
that's the dude from
Okay,
Timeless.
and then like it gave you like some notoriety and that kind of stuff. But what I'm just saying
White
is
people
like,
knew me now.
yeah, they're like, oh, hi. You
Yeah.
became the friendly black guy that you could put
they
on a
knew
show
it.
now.
Yeah. I was always a friendly black guy, but this was like the thing is, when you're a black actor, right? Black folks know who you are because they're keeping track. You know, other black folks, other folks of color, they keep track. You know what I mean? But this was the first show because I also had never done anything this commercial before.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I try and be edgy in terms of my career choices or make really interesting choices, something that really I can dive into all the time. So this was the first thing where it's just like, this is my first family show where it's just like the whole family from all walks of life sat there and watched this show. You know, it was very, very representative even on the show. You know, we've got someone who's Lebanese, Indian, a British black guy, 2-3 white folks, you know what I mean? So it was one, you know.
Yeah, the ratio was pretty good in terms of like, here's white, and then here's a lot of other stuff.
Okay, I don't recognize that ethnicity.
Yeah,
okay,
but I'll go with it.
I like
you know?
this. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal to me. I never thought me and Claudia Dumit, who played my girlfriend Gia.
Yeah.
I never thought we would reach the point that we reached.
Oh yeah, it was good though.
I never thought that because I very rarely see black characters on a show like this, on a supporting drama, really have that relationship or really get a relationship that can get shipped. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah, what do you mean by that?
By that, I mean, where you watch two main characters falling in love, and as an audience fan, you watch and support and want to see the ups and downs of that relationship. And that is a focal point, a focal point of the show. Now, you've seen black characters maybe here or there where they had a wife at home and blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
But this one where you're like rooting for these love interests, where you're rooting for the passions of the black guy to get with this girl on this show where there's a white lead and still have this relationship be a front runner was a big deal. You know what I mean? To have one of those cute little names of Rhea and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
where people where the relationship
like Bennifer, like
that. Do you know what I mean? Where the steadiness and the uncomfortability and the success of that relationship was plot driven. Like what happened with them was dependent on what happened with the story. What happened with the story affected their relationship. I had never seen that, so much so that when we had rehearsal early on and Sean was like, hey, we want you two to like do whatever. And I was like, okay, have like a rehearsal. I was like, I don't know why we're rehearsing. We got 2 lines together. I ain't never gonna see this girl again.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I don't know why you're doing this.
And it turns out.
Yeah. And then like 4 or 5 episodes in, it's this whole arc of me and her trying to reach each other through time. And then having a kiss. You know what I mean? And I'd never really seen that where like our relationship was a plot point. And so that was a big deal. And, and having someone who's Australian and Lebanese and this black guy. And usually also you see black and black or you see black and white. So it was fun to just see like a different world.
Shades of brown.
Shades of brown, man. There's so much, you know what I mean? Because I think we too easily make it one or the other and it makes the story stagnant. And it makes it really boring and easy to me. Do you know what I mean? And so to have it where it's just like a slightly different thing where it's 2 nerds of color, their story matters.
Nice, 2 nerds, two very smart people, successful.
Two very smart nerds where it's not ancillary. Our relationship was not ancillary. It was intrinsic to the story. And so that had a lot of value to me.
So as you guys, if you're listening right now and you're watching and you're hearing Malcolm, you could see that he is very artsy fartsy. Like he's like the most pretentious black dude you ever meet in your life. Like, it's like I'm looking at you like, this motherfucker over here, like intrinsic.
I know. I like to break out some words every once in a while.
It's good though. This is what I like about you though, because so what I was really getting at is that you had this network television family show, but like you come from a different background altogether. Like you're a theater guy. Like you want to be on Broadway. I've been to one of your plays. Like you're very like
theater company.
He has a theater company. He writes plays, and it's like, you actually got a play going on right now. Let's talk about that real fast.
Real quick,
I want to get into the origin of like you doing this.
Yeah, so I have a theater company called Ammunition Theater Company, and speaking of diversity, a huge thing about the company is that we're a diverse company in terms of having women in power, people of color in power, and not one of those token companies where it's just like, hey, we've got one Here's our one guy, but like we have, Asian, Indian, Mexican, Black who have been artistic directors who have made decisions. And so that to me is an important part of inclusion and having the stories told.
And that theater company's here in LA.
Here in LA, ammunitiontheater.com. And so the play that we're running right now at the Pico Playhouse is a play called Brain Problems that I wrote and I'm the lead in.
Shit.
I'm doing it all, man. I'm doing it all.
Trying to Spike Lee this
yeah,
motherfucker.
man. I'm out here, man. But yeah, it's a really fun. It's based on a buddy of mine who actually had brain problems, arteriovenous malformation.
Oh wow.
And so basically the story it's someone who's given life-threatening diagnosis who copes by retreating into his imagination. Which was a hoity-toity way for me to just write dancing dicks into a play.
How can I get dancing dicks?
How do I do it?
Play?
You know what? I'll make it dramatic at first. That's it.
It's either gonna be drugs or brain damage.
Yeah. That's really it. It's all an excuse to like really just. I mean, the play is about everything that goes through your head in the course of talking to anybody over 5 minutes. You know how many times you leave the conversation when you're talking to somebody?
I've already left this one like 3 times.
I assume it. That's why I crack jokes every 4 seconds, trying to wake you up.
I was like, oh, shit, is Mac still talking about acting? Okay.
Yeah. It's like when your teacher's doing math and she's just loud at certain parts. You take X plus 2. The derivative.
You're the only guest where I got to come back from a commercial. Like, we'll be right back. Malcolm's still gonna be talking. We come back from the commercial. You're all like, then the strategy.
Look at that. You don't even know big words.
I don't even know big words. Look at me. Fuck you.
To do the bit. You don't even know.
Do the bit. I know. I'm so dumb. I have the brain damage in this story.
But that's what came out. A good friend Tommy here, and then so it was also an excuse to use my entire theater company to use whoever I could. And so we're up now.
I've never been asked to be in the theater company, by the way. But
no. And then
just gloss over it. Are you kidding?
No. But we're up until May 19th. We're open now, and we're until May 19th, and we're doing good. It's fun. People are saying positive things,
Get out there, guys. Get out there and see that. All the links and stuff will be on the description if you're interested in going to see, maybe discount code Griffin.
Yeah. So pay full price, but you can see the play. Just give us the money and we'll give you a ticket.
So stupid. So you have you started in theater? Tell us where you from? Like where did this all start?
So like this is like the dichotomy. This is the story I pitch when I'm talking about my brand, right? Which is that like I came from Bed-Stuy, Fort Greene, Clinton Hills, Brooklyn, right?
There it is.
Where
Brooklyn at?
Yeah. I came all the places like I used to say the places that white people used to drive through. Now they live.
Yeah.
I grew up in that Brooklyn.
It was this pre-gentrification.
Yeah. I remember my mom. She's gonna hate that I tell this story. I'm gonna tell it. We were walking across the street and we were going to a bus. And the bus stop, and I thought we were gonna cross the street, and we didn't. And I'm like, "Do you want to go to the bus stop?" She's like, "Niggas over there." It gives you an idea of where I live and who my mom is.
So y'all were bougie from beginning.
I wish you would. My mom is. We out here. my mom from the projects. My aunt from the projects. My mom less so. My aunt live in the projects now. I lived literally across the street from the projects.
Oh, so you thought you were better than everybody?
Oh, I was though. It wasn't like a thought.
Listen, if you at the border of anything, you ain't in a good neighborhood.
You're not. You know what I mean? If you at the border, you live there.
You live there. Yeah.
That's where you live.
You know what I mean?
I live next to the hood. You in the hood, man.
Right. Yeah, you in the hood.
If you didn't, you'd live farther away.
So then you wanted to escape the hood,
I
obviously.
did. What's funny is like I tried to be uppity one time. I was walking through. I was like, almost got jumped. I have gotten jumped. But this other time where I almost got jumped, I was walking by a group of dudes like outside, like the projects, whatever, with this girl I was with. And I don't know what it was, but I was just talking shit. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. She's like, why am I all of them out there? I'm like, they ain't got no jobs anyway. And he was like, what? I was like, can't you see I'm just fronting for this girl?
Come on, man.
I was like, really?
Let me use it, bros before hoes.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to make you look worse, but me look better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got jumped a bunch. Once or twice. But you fought a lot. I remember my auntie.
Were you a fighter? You got in some fights?
Yeah. I got into a couple fights. I was doing all right, but I got jumped one time outside of a train station by like 6 or 7 dudes or something.
Damn.
And I remember, they took my book bag, my other bag because I was playing football at the time. They took that, And I remember when I go to get a new book bag, and my auntie goes, "Well, you better learn to fight because your mom can't just be buying you new book bags every week."
That was the point of emphasis. It wasn't like, well, he got to learn to fight because he gonna get jumped again.
Yeah. Do you see where we live?
He gonna get jumped.
Yeah.
We can't just keep
we
replacing
can't
his stuff.
I was like, this is good philosophy. But yeah, so I actually grew up a big math and science kid.
Who knew?
Yeah. So I went to Stuyvesant, but then at the same time I was doing theater and writing. So for
Even in high school.
Even in high school, yeah.
Wow.
Because I went to Stuyvesant, which had a lot of money, and so we'd put on these big productions. And I was like not a school spirit sort of a kid,
Right.
but around junior year, I just got heavy and then like I'm just gonna act, and was just in all the plays and stuff. And so I actually grew up taking tests to get into the next place. So that was my life, was a test taker, and so that's what got me into whatever school. So by the time college came, there's no particular test to tell you which school to go to.
Right.
I heard at NYU, and I'd been acting, so I went to NYU Theater. That was
there. It is.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then I was just doing theater all through that, and doing television at the same time, and a little bit of theater. Went on tour, and then finally I got a gig. The very first gig that took me to LA was Louis, not the one you're thinking of, Luis Guzman.
Oh, I was to say, really?
Yeah. Rough first gig. But I got to see a lot of penis. But yeah, that was the first gig I got was with Luis Guzman, and Charlie Day was on there, which is how I know Charlie Day, which is why I ended up on the pilot episode of Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, because we did a couple
Still
episodes.
getting residuals.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So we did a couple episodes of that. It got canceled. Charlie asked me to do, he said, hey, think about this now, as far as Sunny in Philadelphia is coming.
Right.
He goes, hey, there's this show I got with a couple buddies of mine we're doing. We just want you to come in and sort of improvise a thing to maybe come on the show. So I actually wound up improvising at Rob's house. It was like me, him, and like we did that, and then I wound up, they're like, yeah, you're just gonna do the job. And they shot, I think they were shooting like 3 episodes in a week or something. Like they were doing, at least for the pilot of it, they were doing a bunch of episodes at the same time.
Total low budget.
So
they were block shooting the episodes.
Yeah. They were just doing like, they were like, yeah, we got this other. They were like, yeah, we'll come back to your scene. We're doing the scene with the twins or whatever the heck that is, and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, great. And it just wound up being the pilot. Their pilot was going to be the cancer one. Charlie has cancer. And then they did the one where the gang gets racist.
Right.
They're like, no, this is where we want to do.
This is where we want to live.
Yeah. This is how offensive.
And then look at that, like so many years later, so much money,
so many episodes.
Yeah.
They all are huge and have their own thing. And,
Yeah.
And so, very awesome for them, man.
So you did that. So that was like that brought you to LA though.
That brought me to
and then
LA.
you never left.
And then I never left because I did the Louis show, and then I was like, it got canceled, and I said, well, let me kick the ball and see where it goes again. And so honestly, my career outside of from jobs I actually got was booking pilots. Like that's how I got paid. Like I've booked a pilot every year since 2003.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that is
because you get one this year too, right? Our House
with Katherine Heigl.
Yeah. How did that go?
Great. She's not a bitch. That's really I feel like that's everyone's first question.
Yeah. Well, she probably learned not to be after a while.
I don't know. It's funny. I only work.
Is that going?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I actually read for that too.
As who?
As the
husband?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, man. When I saw that you got that, I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because it was like I just felt like they're secretly making all white shows this year.
Yeah, well, not this. Well, CBS they're on the interracial couple thing right now.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
their thing.
They love. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like,
what can we do? Asian
how do we do it?
Yeah.
Don't do a whole black family.
We don't want to scare America.
We don't scare anybody. I was pitching the calling it. It's called Our House, but I was pitching calling it My White Wife. See how that goes. I'm like, we got to stand out, y'all.
Yeah. So you did the pilot and everything.
Did the pilot, did the pitching. It went great. Had a lot of fun. Everybody in the cast is amazing, talented. The writers were fun. Nick Stoller, Brendan O'Brien.
Oh yeah, Nick. Yeah.
Nick Stoller has a little bit of a track record.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah.
So you wait, and you did. Oh, okay, so was that a multicam, right?
Multicam, 3 camera.
Wow.
Old school. Catherine never been in front of an audience before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. clicked though, man. We were like,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, man. They let me talk and pitch and do all those sort of
That's
things.
good. Well, that's like that's like Tone Bell's been on the podcast
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So he got his interracial couple
I know
going
he's
on
got
over there.
my wife.
Yeah,
my white wife.
yeah,
the prequel.
Yeah, that's on the other network.
Yeah, no,
that's what it's called. My White Wife on the other network.
Oh,
it's CBS.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I told you they
really
in this
trying
game.
Yeah,
they in this game. They want you to know what life is like between a black person and a white
funny
person.
though that it's like all like black man, white woman.
It's a weird. It's such a
I don't know
weird.
if they're ready for the other way.
White dude and black white. I think we gonna say they're not ready for whatever they don't show us.
That's true. That's true.
Do you know
That's
what I
true.
mean? Like,
shouldn't the fact that we even still talk about it like that is proof that
it's
there's still something
there's
going
a weird
on.
stigma.
Yeah,
that's
still
still happening, which is weird. Like that's innovative, and it's funny to see.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Like black men been fucking white women for years.
I know, and it's
tale as old as time.
I know, and it sucks that it sucks for black women. They seem to be getting it the worst in terms of like right. Progress.
I think in terms of like who's getting more speaking parts, lead roles. With Get Out is that Lupita who's in Get Out?
Yes.
That it broke a record because it is the first movie starring a black woman to go number one.
Oh wow!
I think. I don't want to get that
Really?
stat wrong.
No, not more than Whoopi. Whoopi's been. He said,
I mean, what movie with Whoopi went number one? Eddie?
Yeah, I'm trying. That's so funny. I'm thinking the same thing. Like what? One of those.
I love Whoopi.
Yeah, me too.
I have the utmost respect for Whoopi.
But I can't think of another. I don't know. But that's why I thought like a show like Insecure on HBO that our buddy Leonard was on. I thought it was like such an important show. Because see now let me ask you this so we could get into talking about this. So you did you have mother and father living with you at home when you were growing up?
My dad did at some point, but then he was gone.
Okay,
he went classic.
He went old school black dad.
He went old school black dad. Yeah, get a pack of cigarettes. Okay,
but did you? Okay, so when you were coming up, growing up, and dating college, did you exclusively date black women?
No.
You don't gotta say it like that.
I didn't mean for it to
I didn't
have.
ask if you eat your vegetables.
No.
But you were very eclectic in your dating choices even back then.
I'm United Nations over here. I mean, I'm from Bed-Stuy, so I started. It was black and Puerto Rican.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was whatever my options were. But I thought black women and Puerto Rican were like the most beautiful women.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. All right, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is like where I can't like I'm so mixed and like
Yeah.
I grew up like like a block away from the hood.
I know
just
you,
like
you throw me off because I'm not sure what jokes to make all the time.
It's
when
totally,
I want to be racist.
Yeah, I know exactly. I always say people want to know what you are so they can know how to hate you.
So yeah,
know?
that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. That's
Like,
exactly.
is he Mexican today?
Yeah.
Is he black?
Yeah.
Is he? So what I'm saying is, when I grew up, and my mom wanted me like away from the hood, so she like sent me to like white schools, and like I went, so I had this like I, and then like I feel like when we were growing up, black women on television and in media, it was always negative. It was like if you saw a black woman on a show, she had to be sassy.
She had to be sassy,
or she had to be fat,
had to be
loving,
fat, black, sassy.
Yeah. So right, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, who do we have growing up? I'm like trying to think.
This is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I feel like the show Insecure is so important, because this is the first time I've seen black women like be sexual creatures.
This is the first time I've seen multiple dark-skinned women on TV.
Oh, that's true too. Like you went there with it.
Yeah, we don't.
And dark.
And dark. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because a lot of times they'll introduce like the new thing they like because scripts will be like, what scripts will do is they won't say all white people, they just hire all white people.
Yeah.
And then the one character description will say like, sometimes they'll give a person of color, they'll say it's a person of color, or they'll say this or that. But then what TV likes to do now is they like to do like ambivalent color.
Yeah.
So like whatever
all races accepted.
Yeah, like the person will just be some color where you're just like, okay, so I don't know what they are, so I guess I'm not racist yet.
Yeah. I want to be.
I want to be.
But that's funny you say that, because I always find that I go in later in the process. So it's like they've made this show, they don't know who they want, and then but normally it's like it's gonna be all white, because it's a white star, his friend is white, that's just what happens. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, this is the real world, But then what happens is later they start to look at the cast and go, oh, this is we can't, we gotta like, and then that's when they go, let's bring some ethnic people in. But then it's weird.
Then it's weird because it's not made for it.
Right.
They didn't write for you. That wasn't their intention.
Exactly.
So it looks like crap, which is why, you know, you got the shows like ATL and Insecure where you're having black creatives write for black actors. And it's gelling so much more because they're writing for them.
Right. You feel like a fly on the wall when you watch.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sterling K. Brown talks about that in doing This Is Us, and that he's like, you know, when he won his award, I think when he got his first Emmy, and he talked about having this role written for me. And I remember a couple white actors, writers were like, how do you feel about that? Because a lot of them, their tactic is to, or some writers were like, they felt like you write in general, and then maybe we can put a black guy or we put in there. And it's just like, no, you know what's super rewarding is like you intended for this to be a black person.
Yeah.
Like, because our lives aren't as interchangeable as you think they are.
Exactly.
It's just
come from different places.
The perspective is completely different.
Hilarious though, in the same way that like all white people aren't the same.
No.
And I just don't understand why they don't apply it to people of color.
No, because you have to know the breadth of people of color. You have to know the breadth of black people. You know, like put it like this. There's an episode of Timeless, in the pilot of Timeless, there's a line that I say to the Mason character played by the amazing Patterson Joseph, where I have a line and I go, going back into time is not awesome for it. You know, there's no time in American history that's going to be awesome for me.
Right.
And the writers were like, it's not quite hitting. It's not. And I was like, I got this. And I go, and I add, I was like, I don't know how it works across the pond, but over here, it's racist. Like it's something to that effect.
Yeah.
And so even understanding the fact that a black British person
had a totally different experience.
Completely different experience
sure.
than an American black person is an understanding that all people don't necessarily know. Even understanding that every black person is not African American. Like that's like a big, like I get on Twitter and people are every once in a while I'll make that reference and people get so confused. And they're like, I just, you know, I don't know what you're supposed to call people. And I'm like, well, you know, it's factually inaccurate to call a black person not from American, like African American. Like it's just factually inaccurate. Like that's
yeah,
you know, because they'll look at a black person and they go, because they're uncomfortable saying black.
Is African American still a thing right now? I don't hear it as often.
I hear it. I hear it. I don't know. I hear it. Like,
really? Like,
yeah, because I think
in professional settings.
Yeah, because I think people are still. I think white Americans are still uncomfortable saying black,
which is
because they're used to only saying it in whispers. So so it's like, so to say black feels weird. So they're like, okay, proper thing is African American, and it's just like, I get what you're trying to do, but like. He's British or he's Jamaican or he's a million other things. So it's like
my mom's like this. Not to cut you off, I'm so sorry, but
no.
Like my mom's from Belize. You know, it's like, so anyway, people from Belize and Jamaica, they actually have a big problem. There's a big rift between people from those places and American black people. That they don't have the same experience, even though these places were slave ports.
Yeah.
You know, so even though they like Jamaica and Belize, they were slave ports, and then they eventually got their independence. So then they had this kind of like, you know, attitude of like, we ain't like y'all.
Yeah,
you know
we
what I mean?
independent out here.
Yeah, but it's like, don't forget, it all came from the same place. But I know what you're saying. It's like, it's not the same.
It's not the same. And I think in order to write for that, you have to know about that.
Right. Oh, yeah. And
Do you know what I mean?
Who would know about that? Like, where do you even find out? It's not even something we talk about in history.
Well, yeah. I tell you who's not talking about it is 12 white men in a room.
Right. and a couple of white women.
Yeah, they're not talking about like slave ports. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a whole thing. Like even teaching that, like, yeah, Africans who immigrate over here don't call themselves African America because they know what part of Africa they're from.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, true enough. Like Africa's a big fucking place.
Yeah, they're like, I'm Nigerian.
Yeah.
I'm from Chad. Like,
that's like saying, like, for them, it's like saying like Earth American.
Yeah. Exactly. We got to say African American because we got no records. You know what I mean? Like that's,
ouch.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
realness
so
of
that's a
that.
whole other conversation that like, if you're not ready to have that conversation, you're not ready to write a 30-second joke.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Some joke in the middle of a show.
And in fairness to these white people too, though, it's like, you know, they're thrusted into a situation where like mandates are coming. You know, it's like, we got to get a couple of black people on this.
Yeah. It's a rough life for
and then
them.
they're like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, they're trying to like, I think anytime they're trying to skirt the line, they err on the side of like caution, like less,
but at the same
make
time,
it vanilla as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, okay, we'll make it that. But that's the thing about having like power at top, right? Because if you had more writers of color, if you had more people looking at content that has a little more variety, if you have more people of color in the room with more power, then more work gets created. You know what I mean? That's who's creating ATL and Insecure and all these other things. Timeless is like they allow people of color to be producers, to be writers, creators of their own content, as opposed to answering to somebody else who's giving you notes on your own culture.
Yeah, and then it comes to a thing where it always boils down to like selling ads and stuff like this too.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I noticed like on Insecure the last season it was only 8 episodes, and I was like, wow, this is only 8 episodes of this show, and there's like 25 episodes of some show on a network that like who's watching it? Like I don't know. So I mean, we're still as much progress has been made. There's still a ways to go.
Yeah, and you have to keep mindful of that. You know what I mean? It's about what your priorities are, and if your priorities aren't about like empowering people, then that's not what you're gonna make a show about. You know what I mean? I know. If you don't care, you're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I care, so like I try and like bring writers of color into whatever I can and create a theater company and do whatever the hell else makes sense. And like, I'm trying to get power.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, that's partially why I did Our House, because like I'm higher up on the call sheet and I'm saying things. And
you gotta be you gotta be at least 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
You know,
2 up in this bitch.
Yeah, I got you. I didn't want to say we got.
No, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Kevin Hagel been in this for a while, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll play 2.
I can't believe they got her on a comedy.
The way she broke out was Knocked Up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, people forget. I mean, I didn't see like a whole.
No, she was already
stuff
on Grey's Anatomy.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the way movie wise, because she had Grey's, and I think she was on Roswell too.
Was she on Roswell?
I think she was one of the chicks on Roswell.
What are you watching right now? Are you even watching TV? You seem like one of those bougie. I don't watch TV.
Oh, that's all I do is watch TV.
Okay, good. That's good. What are you watching? Tell me what you're watching right now.
What I'm watching right now, obviously Game of Thrones.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Everybody's in there.
Game of Thrones.
Everybody watching GOT right now. What else? Little Adam Ruins Everything. Legion, Into the Badlands.
Oh, you like Legion?
I do. You know what? I was heavy on first season. This season, not as much. Now I'm just like Netflix and everything.
I totally with you on the Legion thing. Like like first season, I was like, I'm really into this. It's out there. It's weird. Like what's really happening? Like who's what? But the second season, they lost me. I checked out because there's so many shows to watch. I can't.
You know what? This happened with Legion and Westworld. I watched both of those first season, and in the second, I was like, I just don't. My brain space, isn't there for how long between stuff happened.
Yeah. First of all, Westworld, emo Terminator. Like, I'm not with it. I'm not with emo Terminator. Like,
I just, and I smoke a lot, man. I don't have time to remember everything. Like, I don't remember nobody's name on Game of Thrones, and I'm watching that like crazy. I'm like, who is this? Peon Leroy? I don't know who nobody is. I don't remember my friend's name.
Yeah. I'm Eric, by the way.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for reminding me. Luckily, I knew you had your title in the podcast.
Speaking of, it's like, I know you're gonna be weirded out by this, but I just went to a weed store for the first time.
Okay.
I browsed and I got me some, a little CBD pen.
Okay. With
like a 1:4 ratio, and I'm like, oh, I'm all about this now.
Oh, I just buy weed.
Okay. I'm not there yet.
I don't even know.
I know how high you like to get.
Yeah.
Saying.
You know what's funny? I still don't know how much publicly I'm supposed to talk about that at all.
I know.
I'm almost commercial. So like, I never
Look
know.
what you've done. You've put yourself into like, you
it's
have
a weird lane.
Yeah. You're like, look at you. Yeah. You're like the star of a CBS sitcom.
I have no idea. And plus I'm waiting for like my old tweets to be brought up or something.
I know.
I'm always waiting for like, like what my tweets were like when it was like 30 people followed me. You know what I mean?
But
you were trying to get attention. You were like,
white women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody else tired from jerking off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, now you've just let everybody know, like, we got to go search his tweets.
Yeah. Search it up.
Yeah.
I pride myself on believing that there is no tweet I've put out there that I will regret in the least.
I know I can't do that. I can't. I know that there is for me. You know,
Is
because
there?
as a comic, you know, because the sensibilities change in society.
This is true. This is true.
You know?
I feel like it's. I can't tell if it's harder or easier for you because you're going out there, whereas I lean into the comedic parts of
Yes.
things, but I still get hired by networks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always this weird balance where I'm just like, and plus it's like, look, weed's legal now, but like laws always take a little bit for black people.
Well, they need to make it legal. Like they need to stop making it. It's still a federal crime.
It's still a federal crime, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
crazy.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a weird system.
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost like like somebody's saying to you, yeah, you could do that over here,
yeah.
but shh,
Don't tell dad.
yeah, shh, yeah, exactly,
You know.
So is it okay? Like,
I have
is
no
it
idea.
okay?
But what's crazy
They
is
can't get banks to,
what's crazy is I get nervous about talking about that, but I bet if I'm just like, I was drunk the other day with George Clooney. Like, don't nobody
Right,
care.
nobody
Like,
care.
don't nobody care.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's weird.
The
stigma.
Yeah, it's a weird sort of stigma that I don't.
But I
believe
find
should
myself
exist.
like it's great at night. I find like I said, oh man, this pen is great. And I just
yeah.
because I got to turn my brain on. I realize that my brain, I don't sleep good enough because my brain is still going after a show that I'm just sitting and watching TV or whatever. And I'm like, okay, then it's like I'm sleeping till whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem is like my brain is overly active. Like
Yeah.
when I'm completely sober, I am incredibly neurotic. Like I'm talking about like when I don't drink, I don't smoke or whatever. I just feel like I talk too much, I think too much. There's just I'm
Yeah.
sure it's like a normal amount, and I'm a lot more productive. Like I wrote the play when I was completely sober.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, I like was not.
Did
I
you
was-
get drunk and then look at it like, who the fuck wrote that?
I need to drink when I
Yeah,
write.
who's this bougie motherfucker?
Yeah,
This
right,
dumbass play.
nonsense. But yeah, because you know what happened. This is what happened. I was just started doing Preacher, the first season of Preacher. Just came off Timeless.
Which was great. Preacher's one of those shows that nobody watches, but it's actually a great show.
It's a great. I mean, it's my type of show.
And are you dead? Are you coming back at all? Do you know?
Well,
Because you were a
I'm-
vampire and
Yeah.
you got burned, but you didn't see your death.
yeah, I'm gonna say I'm dead.
You're dead, yeah. Well, now
I'm-
you're dead because you're on another show.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you. You're not going to be number 2 on this show and then be.
No. Well, I was doing Timeless and Preacher. At the
I
same
know,
time.
but they worked that out. You were recurring
it
on
out.
the other
They-
one. That's the
yeah.
whole industry bullshit.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was Sony. I was pimping for 2 years,
Yeah,
baby.
it's good for you.
You couldn't tell me nothing.
I
You
know.
couldn't tell me. First
You
time
was
I'm
making that good money.
oh man, and I'm repping studios all of a sudden. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, shout out to Sony
Yeah.
bringing that hot fire. So stupid. But like basically, I had like gotten fat, and I was just like, I'm still out of shape, and so.
If you're out of shape.
But you look good. Your body makes sense. Like I'm skinny. You know what it is?
Yeah, you have the head of somebody that's supposed to be 40 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. His head is too small if I'm gonna keep doing this. This is
What's
not-
going on?
I can't do that. I
Yeah.
can't do that. And so I there was like a 3-month period where I wasn't drinking, I was smoking, I was working out, doing
Oh, good for you.
Muay Thai. Now I'm more of a balance between all of that.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't doing that. And then my friend, he was going through the surgery, and I just wrote this play. And I wrote it quickly because I was completely sober for one. And so like it's amazing how many hours in a day. There's 24 in every
I know,
day.
it's crazy.
Every day.
You ever get up early? You ever get up like you had to do something like really early? So you get up at 6 a.m. and you do all this shit. You look at the clock and it's like 11:30, and you're like, God damn, I did a lot of shit before noon.
Like this is too much time,
Yeah,
man.
what am I supposed to do for the rest of the day?
I got nothing, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like, I gotta ruin my life or
Now,
something.
but let me ask you about the play.
Yes.
Now, when you sat down, did you sat down with the intention? Do you always go with the intention of I need to make this a play first?
You know what it was? I had a writer's workshop group, and so I was just like, I just wrote 10 pages just to show the group, look, we need to write for each other. So I
Oh,
wrote that.
interesting.
And then my boy Bernardo was like, who went on to direct it, was like, you need to write this a whole play.
Oh wow!
like,
So
really?
you just go play.
I just go.
You're never thinking TV, movie. That's not your. I'm just interested to hear like how you
writing
like.
process.
I want to make this a play. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's LA, so like a lot of my writing, if I'm creating anything, I'm trying to think of where that content goes. I'm just not good at creating like episodic TV shows. Like
Oh,
my
interesting.
brain doesn't go there of like, what do I want to do every week? Nothing. There's nothing I want to do every week. So I have movie ideas, and I've been writing
Right.
movies. And over the last 2 years or so, I've pitched TV shows, really odd sort of TV shows. And so that's mainly what I try and do if I'm gonna write. But this just made sense to be a play just because of how weird it was and the surrealism and magical realism that was happening. But he challenged me he said, now write the first act in a month. And I said, okay. And write the second act.
Oh, good for you. Okay. That's good. You need people like that in your life.
Yeah. And I also had to finish it before my boy Tommy went in the hospital because I didn't want real life to determine the ending.
Oh, right.
Of the play.
So you were like, let me get this
before he did. Bust this out before it did. Stay awake, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Hey. Boop. Hey.
I know. Like, stay alive.
I got a final act.
Yeah, I got to finish this play.
But yeah, so that's just how it wound up happening. And agents, the first thing they do, he's like, do you think this is this type of thing that could
they want to
adapt?
They want to make money. But
like,
from what you're saying, I do think so.
Look, if somebody say yeah, then yeah.
But I guess the more famous you get, the more
turn anything into something.
You're close because when you look at someone like Danny Glover or what's his name,
Donald Glover.
Danny, we'll call him Danny.
Danny Glover.
I don't know his name either. Childish Gambino. You know what I mean? Which you also, by the way,
rap.
He's also a rapper, has a group, right?
I do, yeah. Verbal and Icarus.
There it is. So this is what I'm talking about: actor, writer, director. Performer, and so like, do you see when you see Donald Glover? Do you see yourself like, I want to be in that lane?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely like, God damn it! Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I need to get that paper. How do we do this? But I love it. I think that's a magical lane. I mean, and he's done comedy, acting, it's an amazing thing. It's hard for me to monetize all these things that I do and get that machine behind it. You know what I mean? So it's just like very indie. Like I've got the music with my boy and we just do it for fun. And this happens. Like I shout out to him because it's like so much of mine is like acting. That's where I get my money. I get my money from acting and everything else I do for fun. And like, I'd love for it to be bigger and bolder and all of this, but I'm just kind of doing what it is, and you hopefully find success.
Well, since Timeless and Preacher and all that stuff, and now Our House, hopefully that gets picked up. Knock on wood. Like do you feel more comfortable about where you can go with your theater company?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It doesn't translate one to one necessarily. Like it's interesting. Like we still have to build this brand. This like
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
It's just like this podcast. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like you have this huge following here, and then you're like, if you can get like 10% of those people to come here, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's on any given day you have a lot more people that are like seeing you do stand up and paying to see you do stand up than necessarily listen to your podcast today. You know,
right? I know,
but that's going to change now that I'm on it.
Oh, brother,
it's going to be huge.
I'm getting the bougie crowd. Is coming in right
all
now.
The bougies is coming out. Huge bougie crowds is coming out. People that know math, they gonna come out here.
I really think I meant to say more of like because when you're struggling as an actor and a performer, especially in this expensive ass city of LA. It's like you don't necessarily have time to be like, hey, let me go do this free thing.
Yeah. You have to care. And I care greatly about this because it's probably my biggest outlet to do the thing that isn't just completely selfish, other than writing and starring in a play.
About to say, even like, let's see, I wrote, I'm starring in it. Let me rephrase that.
For the people.
Yeah. That they have to pay to come see.
Yeah. I did this for you, give me your money. For the art.
Yeah, well, the last one I went to, that was a weird one.
The tragedy, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you're out there, so that's what I'm saying when I see like because you know how Atlanta that show.
Yeah.
There's not like a through line to that show. There's sometimes an episode will be about something that you're like, what the fuck was that? But it's just but I mean, I see like with what your writing style and that's where you want to be.
Yeah, our unofficial motto is our brown contingent is strong. Our white people be popping. Fuck the fourth wall.
Oh.
Because we got for those that don't, fourth wall is you break through and talk to the audience.
Yeah.
And stuff, so
oh, you sure do that.
We do it. We do that a lot in these plays. This one too. We like go through there and talk and mess with the audience and stuff.
I know it's sometimes as an audience member I've been, and it can be weird because it's kind of I get that feeling of how people must feel when they go to comedy shows and the comedian's like, oh, look at this motherfucker. You know what I mean? You're like, what? I want to sit here. You know?
Yeah. Shouldn't have worn this jacket.
Yeah. God damn it.
You know, but we try never to do one where like you feel like you have to be involved more than you should. Like,
oh, right.
Because that's always the worst. Where it's
yeah.
just
It's like, oh, we do have to stand up and clap.
like
Right
yeah,
now?
I don't want to do. Do I have to do bits?
Yeah. Didn't you guys write this?
I came to. These are chairs.
Yeah.
I want to sit in a chair.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, so we try not to do anything like that if we can. But yeah.
Damn. So, all right, you watching? We got off track of like what
You gotta
you
watch
watching.
it. I'm heavy on. I'm always looking at Netflix and oh.
Are you a documentary guy? You're definitely
No.
Really?
Fuck
I'm
documentaries.
surprised.
No, I'm not that type of smart.
Oh wow,
I'm
that's
like,
interesting.
No.
I totally typecast you.
You were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong about that.
I have no interest in seeing what really happened.
Well, by the way, and who's to say that really happened
Exactly.
anyway? That's just still somebody. It's still fiction a lot of times.
I think last documentary I saw was like Capturing the Freedmans, and I was good after that.
So what you watching on Netflix?
Two things I'm watching right now. Just got into Barry.
That's on HBO.
That's on HBO, whatever the hell that is. Barry, The Tick, which is Amazon Prime, I think. My girl Yada is on there. And I just binged Black Summer.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. How is that? Is it good?
Yeah, man. I thought it was gonna be sucky, man. I thought it was gonna suck ass. It doesn't.
I'm not. See, did you see Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did.
I liked Umbrella Academy. Black Summer is good because it's everything you want The Walking Dead to be.
Oh, that's right. It's the zombie one.
It's a zombie show, but like,
did you check out A Walking Dead?
no, I still watch.
Okay.
I still watch. I thought this season was really good. I mean, about 5 seasons of it are repetitive. It's just
oh
like,
my
it's
God,
just like,
dude.
well, this is our new place. Oh, damn it. They're going to destroy our new place.
Yeah.
Looks like we need to leave. We found a new place. You know what I mean?
And then they kill off. Then they kill off someone. Then they replace it with someone similar.
Yeah.
Like if a black guy dies on Walking Dead,
There's a new black
Trust
guy.
me, a black guy is gonna be found in a shack. That's
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Here's our new black guy.
The only black guy I was annoyed at was their first one, which was T-Bone or whatever. They gave him such a ridiculous name. I don't know if it's, but I think his real name was like T-Bone or something. I don't know. I think he had like a one first name. And I was
Terrence Bone.
Yeah, I think that whatever the actor's name is, he had one first name, and I was like, that is bold of you to have one first name and no music career. This is
right. That's true.
This is amazing, sir.
Yeah, I always thought that the zombie kill to dramatic bullshit ratio,
Yes,
on Walking Dead, it was teetering a lot of times where I was like, I need more. Like, you know, the season that like was that season where at the farmhouse when they were searching for the little white girl.
Too much.
It was just like I was like, okay,
much.
this is. But I gotta say though, on that final episode, when that little girl walked out of that barn as a zombie, I was in my place. I went like this. No! I was like, so like, I can't.
Yeah.
I was like, then I was like, oh, maybe that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Maybe they built up to that moment.
Yeah. But
So you saying Black Summer?
Black Summer cuts out all that middle stuff.
Okay, it's just a lot
Like
of kills.
you're just scared. You're scared. Yeah. Seriously, you know what I mean? You're just scared.
Okay,
and
I gotta watch it now.
And they take it from the perspective of each person. There's one, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's one where they do it from the perspective of the zombie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's real artistic.
Yeah. I was like, okay, we in the zombies head now.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's my those are my 3 right now. And those are the types of things that I would like Tick, Barry, Black Summer. They all have a sort of gallows humor to them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so that's the sort of content I dig. I like absurdist. I like dangerous. And so it's been really interesting.
No guilty pleasures?
I was on Riverdale for a hot minute.
Was that hard for you to admit?
I was binging on it. I was like, oh, gee, look at that chest.
It's so funny that you're talking about the CW because all of my guilty pleasures are on the CW.
Oh, I'm across the CW. Well, I'm a comic book guy.
Okay. Okay. So I love Supergirl.
Yeah, Supergirl's the only one I haven't checked out.
You know why you got to watch Supergirl?
Why?
Because it's actually great performances on there.
Yeah,
Like they actually deal with things like and how the character building is really great on Supergirl. I think you'd like that.
No, I would. I watched when it was on CBS. The only reason I'm just not caught up on probably the last year of shows that are that serial in nature.
Right.
Just from working, I just haven't had a chance because, like, because I think I was in Canada and this and that. But like those shows are like, or for me, I'm like, I have to watch in order from this to that.
And I was Vampire Diaries.
Were you?
That was my shit. Then they had to spin off Originals. That was my shit. And now they spun it off again. This show called Legacy. Which is
that what that show
Legacy.
is about?
Yeah, it's like the kids,
yeah.
at this school, the Salvatore school.
Yeah.
But I know the lore of that world. I know the rules of that vampire world. So I just enjoy so that's my guilt. I love stuff like that. Just like science fiction, horror, vampire, zombie. I love all that kind of stuff. Because not everything has to be so deep and heavy all the time that you watch on TV.
Can I tell you, I don't watch dramas. I don't really be watching dramas like that. Like even the dramas I'm telling you about, when you look at them, they're all like sci-fi dramas, like Legion and Westworld.
Right.
Barry's got a,
and even Westworld, you got lost because it's too much drama.
I don't. My life is serious enough.
Yeah.
That I don't need a whole lot of. The world's crazy, man. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I'm personally against. I don't need too much realism in my television. And the thing is, it's hard for me to say that as an actor or somebody's trying to be on TV because, like, I'm not going to necessarily be the lead of anything because I don't got lead face.
Not yet.
You know what I mean? But it's going to be, if I am, it's still going to be a quirky, funny type thing.
And it's going to be Eric Griffin show.
But what I'm saying is, like, when I'm looking at, like, CSI, it's like I don't need to see people that I can go see at the post office. That's real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's unpopular opinion, I guess, but I just feel like right now we're going to this thing where like you're seeing a lot of like, it's like, I don't need to see like fat people and all this kind of, you don't need to put them, I don't need to see I just feel like fat white women are the new diversity choice. So I'm like, and I'm fine. Like, look, everybody deserves, but at a certain point you go, aren't we trying to escape? This is escapism, right? It's like when it's like when they start to go like, especially with the transgender, like they want the actor needs to be transgender. That's a thing that they're saying. And I'm like, yeah, but like if the person's a cannibal in the show, does that person need to be a cannibal to like, how far are they going to go with it?
You know what? It's interesting. 'Cause I don't know how much we've talked about this. And it feels very case by case. Like
what? Totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like there's an interesting movement happening that I find fascinating because it is that thing. This is like Jeffrey Tambor was like the cutoff apparently for like,
and he didn't help his case by being like inappropriate or whatever.
Yeah, no, like that was like the cutoff where they were like, okay, this is the last time we want someone in a popular thing who isn't trans playing trans. It was like him and Jared Leto. Right. And
you got Louis Anderson though.
But see, he's not playing trans. He's actually playing a mom.
Here's the thing though, little inside story. I was like, I was on them dying up here, and we're sitting here talking about Louis.
Which was a big deal for you. Congratulations.
I know, man. Thank you. So it got canceled. So
still, man, that's a good look. You and Santino.
Yeah. So I remember we're sitting around a set and we're talking about Louis and then Melissa Leo, who's a Oscar-winning, fantastic actress. I learned so much from her, but she very much was like, "Oh yeah, another part taken away from a woman of age, given to a man."
Yeah, I totally get that.
That's a perspective that I didn't. I was like, I didn't even. I was like, oh shit, okay, maybe you're right.
It's always weird when you hear a thing that you just didn't think of, and you're just like, because
like I'm a comic, I love Louis Anderson, right? And we're thinking, oh, he did such a good job, wasn't it so good? And then in comes a woman, of age who's like, oh, you mean so another part that and I'm like, oh,
no, because it's true, because I'm up here thinking about my black shit, and I'm like, why we ain't got more black people over here? So when you hear Melissa Leo go like, why isn't that an older white woman?
Yeah,
like, oh yeah.
So that's like, I know what you're saying by case, because there was like that show Shrill is on Hulu, but that chick is like absolutely hilarious. Yeah. What's her name from SNL?
Yeah. Is that Adie Bryant?
I forgot her name.
Okay.
Oh God, we're terrible.
We don't need to fact check. It's a podcast.
Who cares, right? This isn't Fox News. Dun, dun, dun. I know. Breaking news on Riffin with Griffin. I know. Fat white women are. It's like, who cares, right? So like, but she's great. But it's like, so when you say case by case, I just wish it was merit based, where it's like you are super talented and that's why you got this.
Is Hollywood merit based?
It's not, right? It doesn't feel like it is,
no.
right? I mean, I think it's 50-50. I think there's some things that go into it, but these are all factors. Remember, it's an image business too, though. So I'm never like if somebody who I see and they're like, like those handsome, hunky comics, I'm mad because this is what comedy's supposed to look like. This is what comedy's supposed to look like. And when they're getting there, but I get it too, because it's an image business. So it's like, but I feel we're going in this like weird, like right now, we're in weird times right now where they're like, no, we need to get real people on TV.
Yeah, but it's still, this is why I'm for it, because at the same time, a lot of it's still tokenism. You know what I mean? It's still, there's not like 5 shows with fat white women.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? There's 2. Like you can name them. Do you know what I mean? It's like when
you're right.
When Fresh Off the Boat came, and
which is fucking hilarious.
And Dr. K, and I'm friends with Constance. And Randall. We're not friends, but we know each other.
I know Randall too. Shout out to Randall. But by the way, like, just real quick, side note about this, I just it's on Hulu. So when you're watching Hulu, and if you don't click, it'll just play.
Yeah.
So Fresh Off the Boat just came on, and I was watching the pilot, and I was on my couch dying because I couldn't find the remote. And I didn't feel like I was just feeling lazy, but I started watching, and now I love that show. It's just so funny. But anyways, go on.
But remember when that came out, Dr. Ken was on air at the same time. And I remember, I think it was Variety or something like that, where they were like, are we going too far with ethnicity or something like that? And I was like,
2 shows.
It's 2, homie.
Yeah.
I was like, you take off 1 show, you've cut off 50% of network Asian television-led shows. And then what happened? Dr. Ken gets canceled. Now there's 1 Asian-led show on national television.
I know, but see, this is what I'm saying about like, so the female movement, so like I've gotten to discussions with some of these female comics, and they're like, all the lineups are white. No, it's male. They're always talking about male. So now it's like all the males are being lumped in to one box. It's like, so it's like male versus female, and it's like, yo, take another look. It's still very white. Yeah. So we had to get our way. So let's not take away from people's struggle. But like, where does it end? Because it's like every group can be like, hey, we're not being represented either. So at what point does it become about talent versus like this,
Yeah. I mean,
quota?
Like, it's both, right? But like,
it's just hard.
I think you can objectively say that white people are overrepresented in television. Period.
It's so funny when my like white friends will be like, they'll complain about like, yeah, they're not hiring white guys. I go, no, it's just no added sugar.
Yeah.
No, it's already got sugar.
Yeah. It's always weird. It's always weird hearing that. Like, I've had a friend say that to me too, where they were like, yeah, but I went in and they got a black guy. They went with a black guy instead of a white guy for the role. And I was like, okay, how often does that happen in your career? And was everyone else on that show white? Everyone else on that show was white. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's not like you're like white chocolate on an all black show.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not. What are you talking about?
Okay, I didn't get that part.
Yeah,
it's like, sorry, I just don't have any sympathy.
Yeah, it's like, no, but you will get to audition for the lead of something else.
It's hard for me to have sympathy, even for women. It's hard for me to have sympathy in terms of in this business.
Yeah, but that's because you're sexist. That's not. It's because you were raised wrong.
No, this motherfucker. That's gonna get cut. That's cut out. No, I'm kidding. It's like, no, but only because, it's like because even with females, it needs to be broken down because like I said, I think black women are way underrepresented. So it's like when you hear white women trying to come in and talk about acting like a minority.
Yes. It's
weird. It's like, yo.
It's a little weird. But and like to get on your perspective of like how hard it is like people will get mad at rappers for doing this, rappers being here. And I'm like, B, I'm competing against everybody. I don't care if it's a rapper. I don't care if it's a rapper who you think has no talent or an actor who's been doing this for a while who has no talent.
Or some really attractive actor who doesn't have any talent.
Yeah, it's all you against a bevy of individuals who are all trying to get roles.
But and I just hate that like we were pitted against each other by the group that's trying to come in. It's like whatever that group is, they're like, hey, there's none of us. And you all are part of the same thing, you know, because you're it's like as if to say it's like Asian. It'd be like it's you either Asian or non-Asian.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. As a man, I feel like you got to take that on the chin, man. Like we're doing much better than them.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Like even black men are getting represented in ways that I haven't seen in a long time on television. Like I think we're coming up more prominently than say black women.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Like I said, I think black women are the least represented. It's just tough, you know.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like, but I know. So now now in the pecking order, it's like white women and black men are like, are they at the equal footing now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you can't. The comparisons are weird. It's weird because you don't want to compare, but at the same time, like reality is reality, right? And so like there's an acknowledgement of a need in certain places. So it's a weird.
Is there a need though, or is it just like I would like to think in my universe? I would like to think that the need is talent.
You would think so.
You know,
I would say that that's one of those to me. All things being equal statements.
Yeah.
But things ain't all equal.
These things ain't all equal.
You know,
I agree. It's like it's just like I feel like that, and as I'm feeling like it, I feel like, oh man, maybe this isn't right to feel this way. But it's just kind of how like we both had that like aha moment about Louis Anderson. You know, it's like where here's a woman of age who's like, hey, I don't like that, and you're like, yeah. So I guess as a man, we had these weird like, you know, it's like the Game of Thrones, man. I'm talking about this on stage now because it's like I was looking at Twitter remember when we saw Arya is now, you know, but she still looks 11.
Yes.
So like for men, we're like, oh my gosh, she looks. But here's the thing though. So I heard like a guy, he's talking about like, oh, is probably one of the most disturbing things in Game of Thrones. And I'm like, yo, I thought, oh man, what a stupid male perspective, because a dude was fucking his sister and threw a little boy off a balcony. Half the male cast doesn't have a dick. Rape, torture, and pillaging throughout the show. So this self-made woman made herself an assassin, a survivor, and she wants to decide who, when, and where she wants to fuck. And we have a problem with that.
Yeah,
you got to reevaluate.
You got to reevaluate.
So I as we're talking about this, I feel like I'm trying to. It's like we're always learning and teetering.
No, and you know what? My problem wasn't even that. My problem was like when she was getting naked, I was like, I don't know how old she is. I was just
this is what I know. And it's like I was like, well, no. But my first thought, it took me out of the scene because I was like, well, she's got to be 18 because I'm seeing her titties and her booty. Or did somebody make a mistake? Is this going to be a birther situation where we get the birth certificate?
I was so worried about watching the minute I saw like butt or whatever, and I think I was with a female who was like excited about this. And I was sitting there like, I don't know. I was like, this is not one of those things where I want to present the ID afterwards. Like, she's like, where she said she was 18. I was like, no, I'm not looking. And then y'all can tell me if this.
But check it out. Even in that world, though, it wouldn't matter.
No. Well, also, I think in real life, she's like 22.
I know, but what I'm saying, though, is in the Game of Thrones world,
no,
they don't got to be 18.
No. And also, a lot of y'all are hanging by laws. A lot of y'all hanging by a thin thread here. She's like, well, in Mississippi. I was like,
but here's the thing, though. The problem, though, is that, like I said, it's with this particular actress, her growth, she just looks like a miniature of the same chick that was 11.
Yeah. And you've also watched her since she was 11. So, like,
but she hasn't changed like Sansa changed. Like, Sansa became she's a voluptuous woman now.
Well, also, I hear that the chick who plays whatever, like, ties down her breasts.
Which one?
Down.
The Arya chick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is
I think they want her to look
like a little boy.
Yeah, a little more boyish.
I know, but it's like, what a badass though. Like, turns out to be like one of the like most dynamic badass characters in the series.
It's great.
Like, I'm such a fan. Like, she's jumped ahead of like so many for me.
I thought that arc was just amazing. I thought that episode was amazing.
So
it was
good.
Just so much happening.
I thought, okay, there was a lot happening. This is a Game of Thrones moment, everybody, guys. It's Game of Thrones.
Hold on, I have to pee like a motherfucker. Do you guys have pee breaks?
Oh, we can stop. No.
Oh, Lord,
go pee. Right here. All right, and we're back from our pee break.
Woo! I dropped a pound.
We've been talking for so long, but I want to finish off a little Game of Thrones talk. Let's just talk about let's talk about because I love Game of Thrones and you're a big fan of it. Anytime I have somebody on, let's talk about it because this is what's happening right now. Like the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, I thought this was just fantastic television.
I thought it was great. I feel like other writers mentioned it. I don't know if it was the first or second episode, right before the battle. Yeah, it's probably this last one where homegirl lost her virginity, I assume.
That was episode 2.
Yeah. I thought they just did a great job of reuniting every character.
Yes. But that's
in a really organic way. That's an almost impossible feat.
Yeah.
To have each one of them have their own story and check in. They basically have the audience check in with all of the characters.
Because we've been watching them for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then we also know, I go, oh, they haven't seen each other in so long.
Yes.
And it was like, in some of the writing and the lines, like one of the best lines for me, like that really represents who Arya has become, is when Jon Snow says, How'd you sneak up on me? How'd you sneak up on me? And he was really like, and I was like, and in my mind, I wanted to be like, boy, you don't even know. First of all, she was at the thing and it came up, I was like,
she
wow.
could have been killed to you.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
Yeah, and then she kills the Night King at the same spot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out like the same point where she sneaked up on him is the same point where she kills the Night King.
Oh, that's probably why they set it up like that.
Exactly.
You think, how did she get through all those? Okay, so I thought, like I said, episode 1, I thought was a great like reintroduction. I thought it was also like seeing the growth of all the characters, like because like the women in this show, it's crazy. But the most important moment to me in episode 1 was when. Two moments when Dany goes to tell Sam, hey, I killed your father and brother. Okay. Now the reason to me it was significant is because this is the first time we're questioning her. Like we're like, she might need to go too. That wasn't a good choice because Sam is the heart and soul of the show. He's the heart and soul. He's like, the moral compass is Jon. Jon's the moral compass, but Sam is like we love him. And I felt that's the first time I think, I don't think she should have killed, right?
My favorite part is him going, she's like, I killed your father. Well, never really liked him. I have a brother, though. That's the good thing. Always good to have family.
It would be great if Mormont was like, guess what? Awkward. That motherfucker's there too.
That's why he was like, okay, you know what? I know some shit about this girl. Anyway, you know what? You ain't even the motherfucking queen, okay?
Well, that's why I like seeing Bran. So Bran coming in the picture, and Bran is like, hey, can y'all stop fighting? There's a fucking frozen dragon coming. So y'all need to like get over this bullshit. And then you, go tell Jon he's really the king.
Yeah. How many people are named Bran on this show? I feel like there's 4 Brons or Brans.
Oh, there's a Bronn.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
There's a couple. I feel like they were.
But I just think that here's another thing in the first episode that I noticed how strong and significant of how grand these characters have become. Because up to this point, Dany has been like a larger than life character. But when I saw her next to Sansa and all these people, I was like, oh, because even the actress herself is small in stature.
Yeah, a little bit.
But like, because I think the girl that plays Sansa, like, she is so like I want her to be my queen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She got that, and I think they're making Dany smaller. They're making her character not as important.
Well, what's interesting is for a bunch of characters who have been on opposite ends of the earth for a lot of it. They fit into each other's world really easily.
Now you're talking as an actor right now, though.
No, I think maybe.
That's because I get you. That's the amazing part about it for me too. Like they have not necessarily worked together in 7 years.
Yeah, you know what
I mean? But they've worked on this project.
Yeah, but like even not as an actor, because watching say like a Justice League or something like that, where you're watching a bunch of different characters suddenly come into each other's movie.
And it just doesn't work.
And you go like, whose movie is this? What is their world? How do they fit in? Or even like, I'm a comic book guy, right? So here's my next example is when they did Batman and Robin and brought in Batgirl. And all of a sudden, Robin doesn't know how to do anything. Because they have to build Batgirl and Alicia Silverstone as a character. Oh. So all of a sudden, he doesn't know how to do stuff. He all of a sudden know how to save things. And so what's great about Game of Thrones, another fantastical world, is that you have these people who are interacting, and it makes complete sense what they're doing. No one suddenly has to change. There's no character assassination because we're in a room with another person and now we have to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Like they come in and everything makes sense.
It makes sense. The tensions
and
make sense.
The tension is so great because you're building up to this like oh man, they haven't seen each other, and I know what all that has happened for them to get to this point.
Sansa and Daenerys, that's exactly how that should play out.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that should play out.
Episode 2 was great when she was like, men are dumb. When they do dumb things for women. Like she very much has contempt for John's choices, even though she also respects him and wants him to lead. Like all the women of that, you know who's a bad bitch on that show? Is that Lady Mormont.
Oh, the little girl?
The little girl. I've cried every episode. I've cried on watching Game of Thrones because that little girl she's such a great actress because she's inspiring. Like the way she delivers the lines.
I was inspired by her.
She's inspiring.
I was inspired. Like there's a way where that seems really contrived, and it didn't for me at all. Like I
believe every word that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Because when she stood up and was like, I think it's the first episode of the season when she's like, "Yo, man, you the king." Like, who is this bitch? Like, I'm just paraphrasing like ghetto stuff. That'd be the ghetto version.
That's roughly how
she meant. She's like, first of all, no, but she was very much like, yo, we elected you king, and now you coming in town with this chick.
Yeah,
explain yourself.
Yeah,
and John, as I said, the moral compass has to be like, guys, we'd be dead.
Yeah,
this bitch got dragons, dude.
I brought dragons.
Yeah, so it's like, and
I don't want to be king.
So it's like, so we have this moment. Now, another significant moment in episode 1 from Sam is when he says to him, and this is what the whole fucking series is going to be about, the final season is, when he says to him, hey, you gave up being king. For the good of the people. Will she do that?
Ooh.
And that was a moment I was like, oh. Sam.
Funker face.
Yeah, that was so. And then of course another like weird moment in the first episode is when she's like, if you want a whore, go buy one, but if you want the queen, earn her. 2 minutes later,
my boy slick.
Yeah, well, hey, he earned it.
My boy is slick. I like that dude. That's my favorite new character.
Your favorite new evil character.
That's my favorite new dude because he's just out for his stuff, man. He's like, look, I want to bang a queen.
Yeah,
and
I want to put a baby in her.
Yeah. I want to head home. Really don't care about my family, to be honest.
Yeah, I got my niece tied up in a fucking ship.
Yeah.
So so that was, and then I love Theon's story.
Good for Theon, man.
Just the whole idea that like you could be so horrible and redeem it. Like, look how many people have redeemed themselves. Like I said, Jaime Lannister threw a kid out a window.
Yo, people, controversial. The Jaime Lannister part is controversial, man, because it's just like, did he redeem himself?
I know.
Like,
well, no, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
They're all gonna die. Like the ones that have done fucked up shit, even if they redeem themselves, they're gonna die with honor.
I love what they did with Brienne.
Oh, okay. Let's go to episode 2.
I will tell you this:
I was bawling when they knighted her.
I've been in the cold world of not caring about nobody.
Yeah,
they knighted Brienne.
It was
and
so
I was
moving.
Just like,
they had another scene like this in last season. It's when she gave Tyrion the hand of the king.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same moment. It's the same moment because like everything he's gone through and everything he's done. He is now, small in stature, but he's got the biggest brain in the room, and he earned it. And it's the first time he felt like, and I was crying for that. But when Jaime knighted her, man, I was like, this is so perfect.
And to have Jaime do it,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, I just felt, and it was so real. Where she's like, I don't even want to be a knight.
I know.
We're like, well, you just need me to knight you, and she's like,
well, I mean, if you're here,
I guess, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Just one knee.
My right knee, my left knee. Which knee? I just thought it was just such a moving, beautiful moment, and it represents, like I said, the women of this show. As I'm looking at it through a different prism, after like just it's like this show. It's not kind to women because the Emily, what's her face, herself was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be naked anymore. So you're not seeing these titties anymore. So even a real world ramifications, where she's like, I'm not gonna do that. And that's what I thought was so great about what they did with Arya. It was like, it wasn't gratuitous.
No, I thought, it felt like she had agency. All the women I know were huge fans of that moment.
Yeah,
I was
but they're huge
uncomfortable.
fans. Listen, all the guys were uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's funny that when I talk about this on stage and women start clapping, and I'm like, oh, this is really is like a total female perspective of like she chose when, where, and
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
She wasn't forced. She wasn't. This was her choice.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, what'd you think of Avengers?
Are we going to Avengers too? Can we let's finish Game of Thrones
Okay,
and then we're gonna go to Avengers? I love it. This is gonna be literally the longest podcast I've ever done, and I love it because people always say keep going. We're gonna keep going. All right, let's just finish with Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. This is probably the happiest you'll see the characters and the audience for Game of Thrones because they like to cut your heart out.
Oh, yeah.
And
because people are gonna die.
these first 2 episodes were amazing because they didn't rely on what they've kind of been known for doing, which is just like surprise you with a gut-wrenching death.
Yeah.
They actually surprised us by making just a fun, well-written episode where all the characters have something positive happen to them, which has not been what they've done.
You're talking about for episode 2, yeah.
For episode 2.
In
like,
preparation for this, like
Yeah.
that was just them going, let's have some good feelings because the storm is coming.
yeah, and I thought
Winter is finally here.
Yeah, and I thought it was great because there's a lot of shows that they lose the tension by doing that because they're trying to pace you for this next thing where action happens. They lose the tension in the episode before.
Yeah.
And I never felt bored by that. I never went there like, where's the sword fighting? Why isn't someone fucking or getting killed?
Yeah.
I just sat there and watched the story unfold.
But they have a lot of moments like that. Like how many times have there been like 10, 12 minute like Tyrion, you know, he always has great like discussions with people and they go a long time and it's perfect for the thing. So I know what you're saying. They prepared for this big battle. I mean, like I said, I cried when Sansa and Greyjoy hugged. I was so touched because it's like because I feel for him.
Yeah.
He lost his dick. He's been tortured. He was a coward. One of the Stark kids are dead because of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta make this right. And then in episode 3, and when Bran says, "Hey, yeah, you're a good man."
Yo, that was the moment.
He was like, "You're a good man."
That's
Don't
when
worry.
you knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, because he was like,
great.
and that's as if to say that's all he needed to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a good guy.
That was him saying, "I forgive you for what you've done." You know, and then the only thing about this is I want to know why the Night King wanted Bran so bad. They don't explain it to me, or maybe they have and I missed it.
I feel like I miss out on minutia like this, and just go like I generally get it, like because he's
magic or something.
He's the magic prophecy boy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like he's
it's like Matrix. It's like the Matrix when they wanted to get the Oracle.
See,
he wants to get the Oracle to be a part of the collective. Maybe it's like that.
Yeah, I look at it like he's the golden child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want the knife. God, we're so old.
Please.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy and the golden child.
Only thing I'll say my only negative about episode 3 was like this battle with all these dead coming. These motherfuckers should be dead. Like every time the camera would pan to like Brienne, I'm like, oh, she died right there. And then they cut to, she's still alive. Like, how's that bitch still alive?
There was 2 or 3 times where like, oh, he dead.
Yeah. Oh, he's not dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like when because the first one, they did a good job of this, because when she first gets attacked, you think she's dead.
Yeah.
That first one where she's like, ah!
Yeah, I'm like, oh, she did.
Because I also don't know the full powers of these things.
Yeah. Do they become zombies if they get bit? Or is it the Night King has to raise people?
I was like, do they bite people?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I also wasn't.
But they were stabbing motherfuckers.
They were stabbing. I also wasn't sure of the consistency of like how these things die. Because sometimes they'd explode in the dust. And then I feel like sometimes they just fall down. Oh,
well, it was the glass.
The glass, yeah.
Everybody had glass weapons.
But do they all like
or that Valerian steel?
Yeah. But do they sometimes die, or do they always just explode in the dust?
I think it just depends on what they're being killed with.
Right? See, that's inconsistent.
Yeah, that's not. Come on.
I don't care.
It. Okay.
I don't care. Hey. I don't care.
Gives a fuck. No fucks given here.
Yeah. I was just curious. Like, I don't know what tree Arya popped out of when she jumped.
Yeah.
I'm all right with
that.
That
was badass. But she was badass. Like when she was killing them all in the thing. Then the Hound came to save her. Then that guy died. Everybody that died, I was like, oh, this is fantastic.
Jon Snow, I had that moment too, where it was like, where all of a sudden there was like all the like an army of 100 undead surrounding Jon Snow. I was like, oh, so this is how he dies.
Yeah.
And then there's like a cutaway, and then he's fighting. I was like, no,
I thought he was gonna. I thought it would have been great if he would have fell off the dragon in episode 1. And that's how Jon Snow dies. He's like, I don't know how to. Ah! You know, he just. That would have been such a twist.
Hilarious.
The twist.
Hilarious.
You know, he just dies like that. Okay, so anyway, first 3 episodes, great. And I did feel like this big battle that they've been raging for, I did feel like it went kind of quick in the season. Because now it's like, okay, so the real enemy is going to be Cersei's, you know?
Yeah, I mean.
And she needs to die horribly.
It's the longest recorded battle scene, I think, in history.
Well, and actually, you can't even rewatch it. Like, they won't even, like, when you go back to HBO Go, I believe, it's a shortened version.
No.
I think so. I think it was only for that night that they had because it was an hour 20.
It's an hour and change.
It was an hour and change, like this podcast.
This podcast is the 3rd episode of Game of Thrones. That's
3.5. Yeah.
The podcast was leading up to this. The entire series was leading up to this moment.
Podcast. I know. That'd be so funny.
Damn, now I got to jump out there and stab you.
I know. But that was great when she killed you. I was like, you know what was great about it? I didn't expect it.
No.
I didn't expect it at all. I just thought, wow, Bran is about to get got because that's what happens in this show.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like, because I think he knew. I think he's like, that guy.
He knew everything.
He was like, here she comes.
Yeah.
And it was just great. She dropped the knife, stabbed him. She saved everybody. And it's like, and now it becomes like, wow, she should. I don't know what it means for Arya now. You know what I mean? But it's so great.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. On this show, warriors don't become kings or queens.
Yeah. They don't become leaders.
No, they don't become. They don't become leaders ever.
Yeah.
You know
but she's anyway. It's just such a great if you're looking for a strong female character, you know. But again, another great moment is him going to Dany and being like, "Yeah, I'm kind of. First of all, you're my aunt, so we shouldn't have been fucking. That's number one."
I feel like they breezed over this.
Yeah. They glossed it over the fact that they shouldn't be fucking
on that fucking thing. They were like, "Look, I'm your nephew. You shouldn't fuck or whatever."
Yeah.
I'm really worried about this ruling thing. Who does the dishes?
Yeah, who's supposed to be in charge on this bitch? So that's and that was like a great moment for her because I think that's the first time she's doubted her whole existence.
I think. Well,
up to this point, you know.
What's funny is, it put such a rift between them because to me, it didn't even felt like she. I don't think she believes him.
No, I think she does believe him and doesn't want to believe him because it's the most honorable man she's ever met in her life.
Yeah. I think there might be a part of her believes, but I think she's just not. She's not. If there is, she ain't fucking with that truth at all.
She's gonna make a choice.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, well, I did this. Like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, I don't. Just because you were born in a fucking tower someplace.
But she.
I earned this.
But she also doesn't even really believe it because she was like,
no. I'm telling you.
You think
she has to believe it. That's what makes it. It's not that she's gonna wake up one day and be like, "Yeah, you're right, you king." No, she's gonna know he's king.
No, I think
he deserves it. But she's like, "I earned it."
Yeah, but I think it's the part that doesn't believe is just like I think there's no part that's gonna accept that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's well said.
You know, I think she's just like, "Oh, who told you this? Your boy?"
Oh yeah. Who?
Oh, the one whose parents I killed?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that dude. Okay. Yeah. So I killed his daddy and his brother, and now he say, "You the king?" Okay.
I think she said that half-heartedly because she was reaching for an excuse.
I think you know what I mean. Yeah,
John's conviction is just and he was avoiding her. I mean, he's such. Man, I'm gonna really be sad when he dies. If he dies,
I might have let it pop off one more time before I said something.
You would have smashed. It should have been like bedroom pillow talk.
Pillow talk.
It should have been pillow talk
afterwards.
You know, by the way,
real awkward.
All right, so that's Game of Thrones. We both love Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to have Malcolm come back again at the end of the season, and we'll talk some more. But since we're on this subject of talking about things, and you're a nerd, you got Batman shirt on. I almost wore my Batman shirt. That would have been awkward as hell. We'd have been like, I think maybe who should change? Yeah. So, Avengers Endgame.
How you feeling? I'm gonna give you a hot take.
You have a hot take on it? I think that the movie went great until they made a black Captain America. No kidding. That's when they lost America. What? No,
Is this Rwanda or America?
Let me start by saying I was not a fan of Infinity War when I first saw it. When I went to the theater and I saw it, I was like, and that's why I wasn't surprised that Black Panther did better in box office gross, because I just was like, but after watching it over and over on planes and on Netflix, I just really fell in love with it. You know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You also don't like Black Panther, right?
Oh, Black Panther was terrible. It's terrible. That is it's terrible. I'm just trying to point out to you this, okay? Let's just be real, okay? If it was called White Panther with the exact same story and everything, it would just be like, oh, it was a pedestrian movie in the MCU universe. It's not even for me in the top 5 of the MCU movies.
Oh, I actually think it's a really amazing movie. I actually am really excited. Honestly, this is why.
Please tell me why. Oh, I'm so glad we're talking about this. Yeah, please. But before you even start, let me just give you some things so you think about before you go. All right. In Civil War, the character Black Panther was a much stronger with passion and drive, and I believed what he was doing. He was trying to avenge his father. He was kingly, and then he redeemed himself in the end, being like, "Oh, I can't do this revenge." This weak person in the Black Panther movie, who's he? Sucking on his mama's tit and like not believing. He's like, "Oh, mom, what should I do? Sister, what should I do?" Like that's a sign of what's going on in society, where we have to be like, let's force strong female characters on instead of it being organic.
This is what I'll say. I actually do hear. I haven't heard that perspective, and I do hear you with that. I thought he was much more streamlined in the Civil War.
Civil War,
for sure,
better character development, and like a much more believable character than the movie.
I think more streamlined, but I would say that's not a call to society. That's a call to the comics in terms of the strong female maternal sense of who he's relying on. So I think you have to, in order to broaden that world, you need to see that. I just thought they did a really excellent job of creating a world, creating spectacle, and that universe. For me, I know for you, but for me, I had never seen that world, that sort of spectacle and these characters. I really was amazed by it. What I was let down by, and it's a movie I love, was the final fight scene, only because they did this. They fell into the same trap that all the movies do, where the enemy is the exact same person as the hero. Do you know what I mean? Like first Iron Man movie, the enemies in Iron Man, like Ant-Man, the enemies and the what? Like they just keep falling into these tropes of just like they're literally.
Well, I thought that guy was the most interesting character in the movie, and I wanted to hear more about his story.
I think he is probably one of the best MCU villains aside from Thanos.
And then why do all the black actors in the movie have to do the Denzel Washington glory cry with the one single tear got to come down the cheek right here? Cause I'm a man.
Cause that's how black people cry.
I'm crying like this.
That's how black people cry, Eric.
Fuck out of
you got
here.
too many other races in you. That's why they crying all helter-skelter.
I'm crying like an Asian woman. I'm crying like from Honduras.
You got one tear. You get one tear.
Okay, let me pick apart Black Panther for you.
No,
okay?
no, I've seen your stand-up bits, so I know.
No, I don't talk about this stuff okay? It doesn't make like this. Why would there only be one Black Panther? Why? They got this flower. Get the fuck out of here. They got all this technology. Why wouldn't they be spreading that around? There should be an army of them. Because
it's also a royal. It's a royal blessing. Bullshit. Yeah, that's what it is.
They're technologically advanced culture. They're not believing in like that kind of nonsense.
They are. They clearly are.
Second thing, this nanotechnology, it's too unbelievable. It's too.
That's across the MCU though.
Oh yeah. But once they added that, it's too unbelievable. Like the thing that made Iron Man great was the fact that you saw the process. So even if it's something far-fetched, I believe that he could have got there in the movie. This shit with the sticks coming out of the
Shuri's a fucking genius. Shuri's creating all this shit. Also, you're giving Iron Man a lot of credit because every time you see him, he had a brand new nanotechnology that no one explained at all. Where
After they saw this is all after Black Panther.
I feel like 2 or 3.
No. This was everything.
The nano
else,
stuff.
the nano stuff was all after Black Panther.
I have to check. I don't know.
Yeah, because Black Panther said we're gonna give our.
We got you now.
Yeah, and so then like Iron Man's like, can I get it? Can I get a little taste of this?
Got you.
So I just didn't. I just thought I believe that Thor is a god. That's more believable than that nanotechnology shit. Here's one more thing. One more thing.
Go.
I know you want to go, but one more thing. The guy the bald head girl from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Her husband.
Yeah.
He turned on them too easy.
Yes, 100%.
Like why would he? He's been
100.
loyal this whole time. This one motherfucker comes into town. Like he would if that guy had that kind of character, he already would have stole the. He would already stole the purple shit and became Black Panther.
I 100% agree with you.
So that's by the way, a lot of holes in that movie. That's my whole point. Why are they fighting up on a fucking hillside?
There's holes in every movie.
But these holes are like
those didn't bother me.
I don't like black holes. We got to do better.
Exactly. You okay with white holes?
Yeah, white
no
holes.
White lies.
Yeah.
Here's why I didn't like Endgame.
Okay.
And
you didn't like Endgame?
I haven't said this out loud.
Oh, let's do it.
Actually, I liked Endgame. I liked that movie. I was not emotionally invested.
Oh wow, you didn't cry? I cried at the end.
Everybody I know, all the male friends of mine who were fans of the movie, cried at the end.
Yeah, because we cry for two reasons: superhero movies when somebody we love dies, and anytime like a autistic kid shoots 3-pointers at a basketball game. You know, that gets us.
I don't know if my brand is allowed to laugh at that.
If a mentally ill kid is shooting 3-pointers in a basketball game, man, I'm out. Niagara Falls up in this bitch.
So, like, if an autistic Captain America died before shooting a 3-pointer, that's where you're crying.
I would be it would be heart-wrenching.
You know, okay, so here's...
So let's hear it. So, Malcolm Barrett, right here. You hear it here first. Does not like Endgame. Go. Endgame is trash, says Malcolm Barrett.
So Endgame's an amazing movie.
It was amazing.
Right? Infinity Wars, I love much better.
Really?
By far. And this is probably why, and it's because of inside stuff. Once it became, they lost me during the time travel. They lost me because
you were thinking like because your show got canceled and you were like,
I was like,
where's Rufus?
I was like, this doesn't make any sense. There should be one black guy complaining about.
Oh, you didn't like the time travel?
I was bothered by the time travel.
Why?
For the exact reasons that they pointed out, which was that they go, no, time travel can't work like that, but it worked like this in Back to the Future. And then they named 28 movies where this is how it should work. And then the reason why it doesn't work in every logical way that you think is just like,
I thought that their explanation of how they were wrapping this up made sense to me. I enjoyed how they did it.
I did not like it. And then I just took my, suspension of disbelief thing.
Well, see, the time travel always has that problem because the way my brain works, I was thinking like, so now Thor in that universe, he don't got his hammer. His hammer's just gone. You know what I mean? So that whole universe stream is going to be completely different because he don't have his hammer. In Thor 2.
I couldn't rationalize it.
Yeah,
I couldn't rationalize the changes that they were making to the past.
No, but check this out. The bald-headed witch lady explained it.
I love that that's with the ancient one.
Yeah, the ancient one.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. The witch lady, because she explained it like there are now alternate universes. This is a multiverse.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, Loki, his show that's coming out, that's how they set it up.
Yeah, no.
It's him with the Tesseract and his thing. So there's multiple universes. They're trying to save their universe.
I know. I didn't feel that.
Okay, I got you.
I just didn't. That didn't.
But anytime time travel's tricky, so
and look, you're talking to someone who's been on a time travel show, who's seen a bunch of time travel shit. Like I grew up on time travel shit. I just felt like they yada yada it. Like,
okay,
it just felt like
I thought they did a good job.
Do you know what I mean?
That's where we differ.
It's like when someone like, you know how a movie will point out something is doing to let you know. You know what I mean? It was just like, so what? We only have one woman, or like they'll do a thing,
I know.
Then you're like, oh, so this is to make us not.
But that's why I didn't like Infinity War when I first watched it.
Why?
Some moments where, like, when the black girl says, like, why has she been up here the whole time? I was like, yeah. Why the fuck is Scarlet Witch the most powerful character currently? Why is she up? Didn't make any sense.
And then I wanted to see more of not Shuri, Okoye. Because she's there in the beginning, and then I guess she just stays in Rwanda.
Yeah, but she's gonna have her Black Panther too.
But that's why I felt like that. Like that felt contrived. I was like, oh, we just don't want to.
Well, that one moment in Endgame too, where it was like the Me Too moment. Where it was like,
all the
she's
ladies?
not alone.
I love that.
Women unite.
I love that. I love that. It was,
but it was so like a wink at everybody.
It was 100% that, and I didn't mind. I didn't mind either. They could have done it differently, perhaps.
But there was some like awesome moments in Endgame. Okay, I'm talking about like you.
What do you think is the most awesome moment in Endgame?
When Captain America picked up Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like that. That was the moment in the movie where you were like, "Oh my god!"
It was really awesome. My other problem is when Captain Marvel at the beginning of it, she's like, "Yeah, you're probably not going to see me for about an hour and a half, 2 hours." At the end of the movie.
About? Dude, 100, and I'm coming back with a fucked up haircut.
Like it was so clearly like, because here's what really happened, right?
Like she went on a ladies' golf tour. She's like, she came back like off the LGBT, like
LGBT,
whatever. It's just weird. I just weird.
Yeah, I was like, with the minute she said, there's all these planets that stuff has to happen.
Everybody was like, oh yeah.
I was like, oh, so you're gonna come back in the last half hour?
Yeah.
Like it never.
But what was great about it though, but check it out. What was great about it was like I forgot about her. So her re-entrance was still great.
Yeah, I just was like, she's gonna be here in the last half. It just felt like a written moment.
I know.
Me.
But okay, here's a problem I have with Infinity War. Okay, so here's Thanos. All right. Iron Man basically drops a mountain on him.
Mm-hmm.
Gamora, not Gamora, the robot chick.
Yeah.
What's her name?
That's Gamora.
That's Gamora. She hits him with a spaceship. But the only thing that draws blood is Iron Man punches him in the face.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's the kind of shit where I go, what?
Yeah, no, but see, that's the thing about when you bring comics into like the cinematic world, the power consistency.
Yeah,
it gets a little
weird.
It gets a little weird where you're like, because even when they beat him easily, and I thought they did a good job because they beat him pretty easily when they see him at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, but he was weak at that point.
Exactly,
he was hurt.
I thought they did a good job because it was like, oh, he's hurt, he's got no stones.
Yeah.
They whooped his ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it is that thing of like, so what draws blood? Who does what?
Yeah, how does that?
I don't know.
So that's the part that kind of shit. Like it stays in my mind. Like that don't make any sense.
I will tell you that I really thought I leaned over. And no disrespect to Zack Snyder, but I leaned over to a friend of mine about half hour into the movie, and I was like, these are scenes you'll never see in a Zack Snyder movie. And I say that because I don't think I've seen a superhero movie that was this emotional.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I was talking to a friend. I said, you know what this movie
Women
is about?
were bawling in this
I was like,
shit,
you know what
man?
this movie is about? This movie is about coping. Like, Infinity Wars was about loss and protecting what you lost. Civil War was about, let's get a bunch of these motherfuckers. We finally got a bunch of these motherfuckers and we're gonna fight.
Yeah,
like
that was really like more of an Avengers movie than any of the Avengers
that
movies.
Civil War to me,
that was one of the best movies.
Civil War to me
and
is the best Avengers movie.
Well, I also like
there's the first one and there's Age of Ultron.
What's the guy with the arm?
Bucky? Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Winter Soldier was the best one.
Yeah, I you know what? I always mix them up.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was great, and then Civil War was great.
Who's the
both
enemy?
Movies better than Black Panther, by the way.
Who's the first enemy in the original Avengers?
Oh, that was the that was Thanos's. What's his name? Thor's brother, Loki.
In the first one, right? And then aliens come.
Yeah.
But
that was Thanos' army.
Yeah. But I think Civil War and Winter Soldier are the best Avengers movies.
I agree.
Honestly, because it's the first time you're seeing these real team ups. Yeah. There's awesome scenes in the Avengers.
I really love that in Endgame that they showed that great Avengers scene though. That really moved me when I first saw the Avengers.
Which one?
When they circle around all the characters.
Yeah.
That's just great. You see, they're all there together. That was great.
I love it. I love.
And the Hulk was hilarious in the Endgame. But I wanted him to be Hulk though.
No, I actually loved.
You love Smart Hulk?
I love it because I just never thought as a kid I'd see this many iterations of the Hulk.
Oh, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that we got classic Hulk, then we got can barely talk Hulk.
Yeah.
And then we got Brain Hulk or whatever he's called. I just thought it was so great. And I just, the kid in me, never thought I'd see this.
I know exactly what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
It's like the first time. Remember the first time you saw the Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like that was like, wow, they did it.
Oh, can I tell you? I hated the Spider-Man.
The first one?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't hate it. I only used this because it was like, oh, they actually did this.
There was part of me that loved that they actually did this, but my favorite part of Spider-Man is so stupid. This is like such an actor thing. My favorite superhero moment is because I love practical effects over everything else.
Gotcha.
And there was like too many weird CGI things for me. But my favorite move is where he's coming down to talk to Aunt May and just sort of jumps against the wall and comes down. That was like my favorite moment. It's such a weird thing, but that was it.
I know what you mean.
And also, Tobey Maguire is who's an amazing actor. I feel like I'm always going to run into these people.
No, he's an amazing actor, but he's not Spider-Man.
He's not.
Spider-Man's more witty, and this kid that's playing it now is so much better.
This kid is perfect.
Yeah, this kid's great.
And you know what's funny is this kid is perfect, and I liked Andrew Garfield. I actually like.
He's too emo for me.
I liked him because
Spider-Man.
he was the witty crack joke Spider-Man, which for me. The reason Spider-Man was my favorite superhero.
Me too. I collected Spider-Man comics.
Was because he was a funny nerd.
Yeah.
That's why I liked him.
Yeah.
That's not what he was in the first three movies.
Number 3 should be, if you're going to talk about all Marvel Universe movies, that's one of the worst ever.
It's horrible.
With the Sandman and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Sandman, and he's got no disrespect to Topher Grace, but he is not Brock, like Eddie Brock. He's not
get the fuck out
Venom.
of here.
Tom Hardy was a great Venom.
That was a good movie, but it just feels. See, here's the problem.
Can I tell you that movie's garbage? That movie's garbage, but it's the greatest garbage movie because Tom Hardy. He's great, fucking amazing.
This is what I said too. I say, hey, listen, you take Tom Hardy out of that, and that motherfucker sells it. But my problem with that movie is the fact that it's so outside of the universe. See, the problem that Marvel has now is we are now trained to know that these are all connected. So that's what my problem with Thor Dark World. This ship is coming, and I'm like, where's Iron Man?
Well, that's the problem.
Where's Captain America?
That's the problem with making Avengers movies as opposed to with a comic book, is that the minute they have their own stories, you're like, where's everybody else?
But you could do it if it makes sense.
Can I tell you something? There's no world where that makes sense.
That Dark World shit. But Endgame made a lot of reference to Dark World.
Yes, but there's no world where once these guys team up, there's ever a thing happening to Earth where only one of them fights.
Thank you.
It
can't happen.
That's just not a real
So
thing.
because I see that Marvel sign, and I know it's Sony's Marvel, but I'm like, okay, yeah, Venom, where's Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Or where's this can't be.
It's a weird outlier.
Yeah,
it's a really weird. But Tom Hardy did.
He's great.
He's just, you know what?
Have you seen his show? Taboo?
No.
Oh, listen to me.
That's the one.
You're gonna love Taboo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
It's an old timey, but he's great
good
in
at that.
it.
He was great on
He
Peaky
produced
Blinders.
it.
Did you see Peaky Blinders?
No, I didn't see that one.
Peaky Blinders. You should see Peaky.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that, and you watch.
I will 100%. Tom Hardy did to Venom what Hugh Jackman did to Wolverine because
overacted. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Of all Marvel movies, I think Logan for me is in the top. Here's
the top 5. Thing. There never should have been another Wolverine movie after Wolverine Origin. That movie was atrocious on its own and destroyed other characters in its wake.
No, but here's the thing. They fixed it. In X-Men Days of Final, they fixed it. They found a way to it's the same thing they did with Star Trek. They found a way to wipe away the whole universe and start over.
I'm talking from not in terms of world. I'm talking as like a money. I'm like, there's no way another movie should have been greenlit.
Oh, I know.
After that horror, but this is
there's so many bad ones. Don't even get me started.
That's what's amazing about how great Hugh Jackman was, and a testimony to Ryan Reynolds too, is that they both made their horrible. This horrible movie, and America still said, well, look, just chuck the whole movie, bring Hugh Jackman back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then they made that second movie, which is better than Origins.
Yeah, but
I wanted it to be better than it was. But like, again, Hugh Jackman's so good, they said, fuck it, let's do a third. Like, he pulled a trilogy out of a movie where the first one is garbage.
Yeah, I don't know how. That they need to I'm hearing now that the universes are now going to be combined because they got the rights
Disney's
back.
Going to own everything.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll
be easier.
Because I'd love to see Wolverine and fucking. But now we can't see Iron Man and Wolverine.
Well, no, I don't know if you're going to see Wolverine, but Also, like that's the thing with X-Men, like they've just messed with that world so much. Like
They've ruined it.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. Fantastic Four, like they just I don't like any. It's like all the
because
but these X-Men, that Dark Phoenix looks good.
I'm not interested.
Well, you're gonna see it though. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. Don't act like you're not gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
What's the last X-Men movie that was it? What was the
that
one
was the
before
one
this?
before that where like
Wasn't Days
the
of Future
God
Past.
guy. There was a God guy.
Oh,
Yeah, that was terrible.
It was
terrible.
That was horrible. Here's
Terrible.
the thing. They got so busy replacing the characters.
Yeah, I know.
That no one's interesting.
I know.
I don't care about any of these people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who this actor is.
I don't know who they are, what they do.
I don't know
Doesn't make
anything
any
about
sense.
it. And I saw Apocalypse or whatever, X-Men Apocalypse, and that's another one where the power set makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like X-Men Apocalypse in the beginning of it, he kills like 11 people by like putting sand through them.
Yeah.
Through the necks with a gesture.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're punching people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what this movie is. I just don't know what this movie is.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? But like that one was they owe so much. And Lord Jesus, if they destroy Storm's character again, they have not gotten. You want to talk about who has the worst fight? You like talk about underrepresented black women. Like,
yeah,
they have not written one good line for Storm
in 15 years.
In 15 years,
Yeah.
there's not one good Storm line. Like,
well, hopefully this new X-Men and then whatever is going to happen with the universe. I mean, I didn't, like I said, to get back to it, I did enjoy Endgame. I thought that
I did enjoy it.
I'm glad they started it where they ended it. You know, the whole MCU. You know, with Iron Man dying. I thought that it was very moving and all that. And I thought the final fight, that final battle, was epic. And
it was. I just looked.
I want to see it again.
I would watch it again. And I just looked and thought, wow. Look at all the characters that make sense,
dude. Now, see, this is now we're talking as people that are in the business.
Now I'm talking as a business person. Like,
me too, because that's the thing that I thought about. Like, I said, they have serviced, because that's what I appreciate about Infinity War. Like, I'm like, oh, they are servicing all of these characters,
all of them.
They're servicing them, and like it all makes sense. But you know, just great moments. You know,
the fact that they put so many different worlds and so many characters from so many different worlds together, and it makes complete sense, is triumphant, because you see when it's done wrong.
It was a great 11 years of like, and DC is just like, DC's like, why couldn't we?
Yeah,
and they're trying too hard. That shit sucks. All their shit sucks.
It's not
all
great.
of this sucks.
It's not great. My boy Jeff was like, you know, but why are they wrapping it up? Like, why they need to keep going? I was like,
they are going to keep.
I was like, Jeff, think about it. Think about this. You've been watching a series of movies
for over 11
years. And you're like, why are they wrapping it up?
Yeah. This is
11 years?
Yeah. This is like The Sopranos or some shit. It's got to go.
And like, not even just one arc that you're watching. You're watching about 4 or 5 different people.
And they're all interconnected. The actors are changing.
They have trilogies. Like 4 of these people have trilogies.
Yeah.
2 of them have 2. And you're going, I can't believe we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
This is the 4th Avengers movie?
Yeah.
Just Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, and each Avenger has 3 movies. You've watched...
Captain America's got a bunch of...
You've watched at least 12 movies. That's a testament to how well they did this.
Yes, it was.
And it's not over.
It's not.
There's about 3 or 4 5
now I
shows
know
coming.
that, like, now I know that the Spider-Man, they were releasing these trailers before, right? And I was like, is that going to be a prequel or something? But now we know
now
that
you know it's after.
It's after.
Now you know it's after.
You know?
I don't know when this Rwanda,
listen to you. Your Black Panther 2.
Rwanda forever.
Wakanda. God, you ain't a fan. You ain't shit.
What? Don Cheadle's in it or not?
Is he?
He's in Hotel Rwanda.
Hilarious. I'm getting the reference. So all black people look the same to you. That's what it is.
Hotel Rwanda forever.
Oh man.
But you knew. But see, that's why Infinity War, the ending, I was touched, but it didn't hit me as much because I was like, oh, Black Panther 2 is coming out, Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out. Right. Everyone's gonna live.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of,
I know.
That's also kind of how I knew what was gonna happen with Endgame, because I was like, oh, they're gonna time travel.
Oh, see, I'm with you. See, that's just because you're a fucking nerd. Yeah, right. And we're both nerds because I was in the theater, like, because it was like, that was all. I knew it was just a fake out move that they're going to get the gauntlet and snap everybody back. I was like, that ain't going to happen. I knew it was going to be about, because I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I knew, and they set it up there. That's why they set it up, because he was saying time and all this shit about time in that movie was to set it up for Endgame.
Also, this is the bone I had to pick about the time travel part. Ant-Man comes out and he's like, yeah, that was 5 years for you guys, but it was only like 5 minutes for me.
Right.
Then it's the reverse for the remainder of the movie. Then they're like, oh yeah, when he's in there, well, that's like 10 years.
No, that's because Tony Stark fixed it.
Math doesn't reverse. You can't suddenly go, look, when I was doing absolutely nothing, quantum time took me 5 minutes, but it was 5 years. Now all of a sudden, 5 years in the quantum world is
but
Captain America lives a whole life.
No, but it could be there in the quantum world. It could be anything.
No, it was only one way from then on.
No. That's because they found a way to manipulate it. That's why they had the whole thing where Tony Stark was like, aha!
Yeah, that's why I felt like that part.
All right.
That's where
I'll give you that.
That's where I was just
But there's a lot of bullshit moments like that in like, well, especially Black Panther, but we're not gonna go back to that. But like Infinity War, they all have holes, but I still think it was a ginormous enough movie and a great payoff that I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's because I'm such a time travel guy that I was just like,
you're a fucking nerd.
I was like.
There's nothing worse than a black nerd because they have to try extra hard to be like, they have to really, like, black nerds got to prove themselves.
Prove it. Like, it's real math, okay?
Yeah. I'm surprised you can pull out a Sharpie and be like, let me explain the quantum physics.
Quantum theory works.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went to math and science high school, so I get quantum physics.
You ain't shit. Well, you know what? Anyways, this is a good stopping point because this is the record, the longest riffing with Griffin we've ever had.
It's the end game.
This is the end game. This is the end game of podcasts today, for me at least. And I am going to have you on again because I want to continue to talk Game of Thrones. So let's make an appointment that for the end of the season of Game of Thrones, we'll talk about that. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you stuck around till this point. Make sure to look at the descriptions, and I'll have all of Malcolm's information if you want to follow him. And make sure to tell us the name of the play company again.
Name of the company is ammotheater.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and as Ammo Theater or Ammunition Theater.
Ammunition Theater.
Yeah.
And it's going on till May 19th. This podcast will come out before that, so you'll have plenty of time to catch the play. I highly recommend it. Malcolm is a fantastic performer. I'm a fan, not just your friend. I'm a fan. That's what I love seeing you on the shows. I really enjoyed that little bit part in Santa Clarita Diet. Yeah. I was so excited to see you in that. So he's doing a lot of great things. Hopefully our house gets picked up. They passed me over, but I'm cool. I'm not gonna be hating on the show. This motherfucker. No. Anyways, man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I wanted you on, and I got you on, and we did it. And thanks, guys, for listening to Riffin with Griffin. Make sure you hit the subscribe, share, all that stuff you're supposed to do for me, and tweet out and everything like that. And I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, bitches. Bye.